What's going on, everybody? Who we 186 back again with the Overrated Podcast, episode 109. This Who we 186. Happy Labor Day to everyone. For those of you who celebrate, I don't, but for those of you who celebrate, Happy Labor Day. And with me is Traditionalist 101. As always, what's going on, man?
Yeah, Traditionalist 101 is here. As always, we have to hold on to tradition, ladies and gentlemen. And to be fair, having a you don't really celebrate any holiday, to be honest with you. Like the
Mm-hmm.
holiday you actually celebrate.
Okay. Okay. Um.
Huh? You,
Anyway, huh?
you didn't answer the question.
What?
What holiday do you actually celebrate?
Um. I don't know. Like none really.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I knew when you say, oh, that's not something I really celebrate. I mean, you don't really celebrate any holiday. So, for knowing you over the years, I wouldn't be surprised if you said holidays are overrated.
Okay. Is this any relevance to what we're gonna talk about soon? Later on?
Maybe, maybe. But yeah, happy Labor Day to everyone. If you are barbecuing, if you're out there partying, if you're just spending time with family, whatever it is that you all are doing, please just be safe, sound, and you know, we'll just be safe out there. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of crazy things, during the holiday season. Well, I shouldn't say holiday season, but any type of holiday that we do have, uh, people wants to act all crazy and yeah. So just be safe out there, please, 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 please be safe. But yeah, we are finally catching up with all of the titles, all of our topics, I should say. We've been behind. We've been trying to catch up, but I think after today, I think we should be all set and be in no more standing, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
what did you end up doing today?
No, nothing really. Yeah, nothing really. Just yeah, really nothing. What about you?
Yeah, you sound a little down, like
No,
you're
I'm just no, I'm tired. I'm tired. That's it. Well, I'm good. I'm good.
you haven't had any sleep.
No, no, no. I'm just tired.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, no, for me, we just ate a lot of food, and what else did I do? I went to no, that's yeah, that's pretty much it. I meant to go to the barbershop today, but I was doing a few errands, so I'm probably going to either do that tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay.
But other than that, everything seems to be fine. And before we actually do get started, I wanted to give a quick shout out because I put this on Twitter, but I wanted to show everyone I got my second issue right here. Where wait a minute, where are you? Oh yeah, right here. I have my second issue today. Not today, but I officially read the whole entire comic, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out for another successful campaign from Eric Johnson. This is what I bought, and this is ISON number 2. Dang, what I should have done is make sure I got this link. Oh wait, you already shared the link to the Discord already, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So maybe
But
maybe
I can do it again.
maybe what I'll do is like if Jabonis is here, then I mean he doesn't have it, but it's a thing regarding comics. So maybe he'll be here or not. But regardless, I just wanted to say that yeah, I obviously you can see I have three different art styles up here. He gave us a free bookmark, and I have a poster of a new character named Bloodruth. And yeah, look, the comic was good. I enjoyed reading it. I don't know if I like it better than the first one, I'm not 100% sure if I like it better than the first one. Like in the beginning, you find out why Isom, who's the main character, why he had quit being a hero. Like it says right here. So why did Isom quit? He had quit being a superhero, and it actually explains in this issue why he decided not to be a superhero anymore. And it's actually very, very, very sad. I don't want to. I mean, I might as well probably spoil it since I know nobody's going to be reading this comic, but I'm just going to wait just for the simple fact that, as a request for Eric July, he said that he wants to put the spoilers on hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe if it's next week or the week after, probably share my overall thoughts, about the comic. But yeah, big shout out to him. And there's one last thing I want to show, and so let me get off of here and also prove a point to Hoovy 186. Okay, right here. So in the second ISOM number two, his campaign, he had made two 2,351,589 in total sales. I mean, which is good. It's just definitely impressive. 20,337 of total purchases. Starting right now. Let me refresh it just in case because he's constantly updating it. Okay, so yeah, pretty much the same thing. Now, and I'm going to pretty much end it here just to say that he is definitely started his own comic from the ground up. This is definitely by definition of success on his part, and I'm happy for him. I'm really happy that he is doing a very fairly good job. And you have people who are hating on him. You have people are proud of him and whatnot. So he's good taking care of himself, taking care of his wife, all this and that. But the main reason why I wanted to show this real quick before we actually start the podcast is to prove Hoovy 186 wrong. What do I mean by that? A few months ago, Hoovy 186 here had said that the comic book industry is an outdated industry, or outdated, or that comics is an outdated product, and that to me, the way I interpret that is that the industry is pretty much irrelevant. That's how I interpret that. But as you could see here, as far as the sales and the total purchases and everything like that, you could clearly see that there is still a demand for comics. And because there's still a demand, this is also proof that if you give the paying customer, what they want, and not try to have some stupid hidden agenda like these other comic book in this comic book companies been doing, then you're going to get the support, and people are going to buy your product, and they're going to be happy with your product. Now, for me overall, I'll just give the final score. I would give it, like, I want to be fair. I'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Um, I was thinking about giving it an 8, but I wanted to be fair. But I'll explain everything that later on, during the week and whatnot. But this is proof once more that Hoovy 186 has been wrong and I have been right. That there's still a demand for comics, and people still are a fan of buying comics. The only thing that the comic book industry needs to do is actually listen to their fan base and give us exactly what we want. Don't try to give us these hidden agendas. Don't try to shove stuff into our face that we don't want to watch or that we don't want to see. Just focus on making good story, focus on continuity, and then we'll support your product. That's it. The formula still works, and he is one example of and why it's proof that if you stick with that formula, you will do well with your comic. And that's all I have to say. So I was right, and Hoovy 186 is wrong.
Oh, my bad. I just woke up. Okay, let's start the podcast. Um, Shout out to Mota. What's going on, bro? And F, what's going on, bro? How you doing? FYI, I don't remember if I said that. I was talking in the context of you guys bitching and complaining about what goes on in the movies, but I think I did say something regarding comic books not being an outdated medium, which it is. It still is. But props to him. He making some money off of it. So congratulations to him. When it
I
comes to
I,
hmm?
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, that's all I gotta say.
No, no, no. Go ahead. I want you to finish it so I can ask you something. Go ahead.
No, you can ask me something right now. I'm done.
I thought you said you were sleeping. I thought you wasn't paying attention.
No, I wasn't paying attention, like it don't matter. Like I said, congratulations to him. Like nothing else I can really, there's really nothing else I can say because I don't read comic books. So
No, but
yeah,
it goes to show it goes to show that you didn't know what you was talking about. It goes to show you were just talking trash just for the sake of talking trash. That's
about
what
the
you
comic book industry, I mean, like I said, I still think it's outdated. I still think it is, and I mean, like I said, congratulations to him for succeeding. But
are you going to give me a reason why you think it's outdated,
I already,
or
we already had
or
this, we already had the conversation.
are you
We already had the
going
conversation.
to just, or are you just going to talk trash and just say stuff just to say it?
We've already had this conversation. So there is, I mean, I think reading mediums in general are outdated. I mean, you see magazines are slowly going away, and I think comic books are may not be as irrelevant as magazines are, but it's definitely going to get there eventually. It will get there eventually. So
Newspapers are outdated.
yeah,
Magazines are outdated.
hmm
Books and comic books are not outdated.
I
That's the
mean,
difference. There's still a demand for those. There's not a demand for magazines anymore. You could clearly
when
go online to look at certain information regarding to whatever magazine or newspaper has to share with you. You could just go online. Now, granted, you could do the same thing with with comics, with novels and fiction and things like that. But those things also become collection items. You know what I'm saying? People love reading things that's tangible, having the material in front of you. There's still a demand for that. There's still we're not going into. I mean, at least not yet. I mean, and I hope we never do, where everything will be completely digital. Whatever it comes to gaming and reading and all that other stuff. Hopefully, it'll never come to that. But I do think we still have tons and tons of people who would still prefer to have physical material over digital.
yeah,
And as long as we have that audience, I mean, comic books is not going anywhere. So you're wrong.
okay. I mean, you can believe that all you want, but anything that has a digital format there's always something that is always going to knock it down at least a little bit. That's just a fact. So
And you said
you
at least
know,
a little bit.
yeah.
Okay, but that still doesn't mean
When it comes to gaming, digital is as high as it's ever been. Physical is slowly going away. It's not going to go away completely, but eventually it is going to go away. It happened to the music industry. It's happening to the newspaper industry. It's slowly happening to the magazine industry. Every industry with a digital component sooner or later overtakes it, and you nerds aren't going to stop that. So
you want to call us nerds, but hope you realize, Havanel, there's still a lot of things that have digital format, but that still doesn't mean it's going to kill off the physical stuff. But once again, di- collectibles become non-existent if you don't have the physical material.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example. And look, I don't think I don't think it's fair for you to compare, like for example, music to comics or video games and things like that. Because when it comes to music, there's really no. I don't think there's a huge demand for physical media when it comes to music.
No, there's people who collect vinyls and stuff like that, and I
Uh,
guarantee, and I guarantee there's still some people out there who are still fighting the good fight.
as far
One
as
hundred percent.
as far as music goes,
Mm-hmm.
okay. But again, if what you're saying is true, why are people still buying the physical stuff?
Because there's still people who prefer physical.
Exactly.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that digital is not taking over. It clearly is, and the examples that I pointed out prove that. And comic books will be in that same ballpark if it's not already.
Well, you're wrong, and even you could say whatever you want. We're going to move on now because this is not a comic book topic. We don't want you going to sleep again. We already know how you are. We don't want you going to sleep again. We have
How
a
you doing?
we have a show to do.
Hello,
But at
David. How you doing, bro?
what's going on, Dave? And what's going on, F? We have a show to do, so we can't continue debating about this. Maybe for another day.
Mhm.
But as of right now, you can say whatever you want. But as of right now, I already showed you the numbers, and he's just one example. This proves that currently you are wrong, sir. Now let's go to the
I
first
mean, that,
topic.
if that is what you're going to use to counter my argument, then that's fine. But you know deep down that I'm right.
No,
Ultimately, you know I'm right.
no, no, no. You're not right. No, you're not right. There's still plenty of people that prefer to buy the physical stuff. And look, after the next generation or the next two, three generations, we'll see what goes on, after that. Because we've seen what's been happening in the video game industry. But I don't necessarily believe that people are or fans of the video game industry saying that, oh, we demand, digital stuff, we demand the digital stuff. I think that the companies like Sony, like Microsoft, etc., they are actually the ones, in my opinion, are trying to push to that direction.
Yep.
That's what I think is actually happening. They are the one that's pushing it, not necessarily the consumer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so so we still have the power to say no. We still want the physical stuff. Now, obviously, if Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony decides to make consoles where you don't have, the disc tray anymore, well, there's really nothing, that we could do. And we just have to follow along with that. But that still doesn't mean that fans don't want the physical media. It's the companies because they want to try to get rid of the middleman, which is the retail stores. That's what they want. So I think it's different. There's a difference between what the fans actually want, the audience, than what the actual companies what they want because they're trying to squeeze as many dollars into their pocket as much as possible.
Okay. All I know is that every device, everything that has a digital component, at one point or another, is going to take over. I'm just saying. Okay, so
Again,
let's
you're
talk
right.
about.
Again, you're right about we are right about the magazines and newspapers, but I think those are different things. I don't think you can compare newspapers and magazines to comics and books and novels.
Well, I mean, sure, we have. I mean, shit,
Novels.
we have a governor who's very comfortable banning books. So like, I mean, that's just gonna go away. Gonna go away also. So what does it matter? Dave says, I know with normal books, physical books, and highly desired over ebooks, even Kindle and e-readers. That's not going to change with those who read a lot of books. I don't see why comic books would be different. Um, to me, I'm just playing the percentages. Now, look, I could absolutely be wrong. Like I'm not,
You are wrong. Absolutely, you are wrong. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But at the end of the day, if there's a digital component, and let's say if an artist decides, oh, in order to save money, all my content is gonna be digital, then he succeeds. What do you think? Where do you think that's gonna lead to?
You talking to me or David?
Both of you guys.
So, well, I'm trying to understand exactly what you mean. Can you repeat that?
Okay. If a comic book artist decides, oh, I'm only doing this digital, and it's a hit, and he saves money by not making physical copies, then what do you think? You think that trend's gonna is this gonna be the? You think he's gonna be the only one that does it?
No, there's probably going to be a trend of other companies that's probably going to follow suit.
Yeah, and that's how it starts. It starts as a trend, and then it slowly consumes and overtakes. Same thing happened with Napster. Napster was just a trend, and then all of a sudden you come out with LimeWire, all the other stuff, and then all of a sudden now we have Apple Music and all the other stuff. All this stuff starts off with a trend. Okay. With books, there's something called print on demand. So they only print the books they sell. So that doesn't matter. Like I said, like you may be right, David, but if someone decides that they make more money just doing digital, even if they decide, regardless of whether it's high demand or not, I know for a fact it costs money to print all those books. I know it does, and I think it will cost them less money naturally if they didn't. Now again, I'm just speaking by common sense here. So
Meaning you don't really have concrete evidence to support your claims, right?
no, I'm just going by other businesses who dealt with the same thing. I'm just dealing with businesses that deal with the same thing. So, but anyway, let's talk about Volition.
No, I need to say one last thing. Now we already know what's been happening in other industries, but by now, everything when it comes to online, when it comes to Wi-Fi, things that have been digital, a lot of people would and now that people are doing a lot of streaming, a lot of people would argue that if it hasn't caught up by now with certain industries such as books and comics, I don't think they will ever reach a point to where it'll be exactly the same result have we been seeing in magazines and newspapers. I just don't see it. Like if it hasn't happened now, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
All right.
I
So he
don't
said,
think it's ever happen.
with
Why in the world would we want to support something that could cause so many other industries to fail? Like I wouldn't really want that. That means we will have no more comic book stores. We will have no more GameStop. Like at the end of the day, like all this was going to do is damage a lot of the other retail stores and other businesses. That's
at,
not
at
something that we should support.
at the end of the day, you're always going to support your interest over the company, and that's how it should be. Your interest should be above a company. So yeah, do I want to support a game or whatever? Yeah, sure. But if I could get it for a cheaper price and I'm strapped for cash, that's absolutely what I'm doing. That's absolutely what I'm doing. So let me read this. Let me read this from David. He said, "We're printing demand. If you sell zero books will be printed. So there's no cost. We can move on though. No, I mean you're right, but the problem is that you're like, I know not every book that has been made is a bestseller. I know that. So like, so yeah, no, you're right, but like, but I do think that when it comes to digital media, I feel like that realistically should be a cheaper option. And if they catch on with that, then I do think that they'll gravitate to it. Like I said, it only takes one. Uh, Plus, with books, you don't need a player like music, video game. Yeah, true, true. But how many people are reading books nowadays? Especially with what I mentioned earlier regarding what's going on in this state. You know what I mean? Like it's everything is like a residual effect to it. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, man. Like this stuff, I'm just playing the percentages. That's all. That's all. That's it.
But even with that, look at the stuff that you were saying, and pay attention to what's been going on here in recent past. You know what I mean? Like, when you see people reading, because look, when I go out, I still, and let's say I go to a like a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and whatnot, you still see people having their comics or mainly on books.
Yeah,
I always
older people. Yeah. What about younger people?
same thing with the younger people.
Hmm.
Same thing with the younger people. I see people with comics. I see people, with novels and whatnot. I see people
Well,
reading. No, I see people reading mangas. Not and mangas are the one that's doing a very very good job when it comes to sales and numbers. I think lately mangas has been doing far better than comics, overall. But at the end of the day, once again, that just goes to show that there's still a huge demand, for the physical media. So I can't agree with you there. Oh well, it's just going to happen more and more and more. Not if there's still a demand for it. No, I don't agree. I don't agree. And once again, you had also said when it comes to video games. Now I know we're going back and forth when it comes to video games and comic books, but you have said also that you like to have the physical disc.
hmm
That's what you prefer. That's what I prefer. And a lot of millennials, Generation X, and I'll even say the Gen Zs, a lot of them do like the the physical stuff, things that are tangible, things that you could actually hold and open the case. Like even though they're very little, maybe some will say it's very minuscule, it's still it's an experience that I still would like to have than just downloading a game and it's downloading and then okay, I get to play
Well,
or whatever.
I have Game Pass, so yeah, I have physical, but I also have Game Pass.
Okay. You know what? Now I just put yourself in the corner because despite that you having Game Pass, you didn't get or neglect the physical media.
No, because I did it for a platform that I don't really care about that much.
Clearly, you care for it if you're going to pay every month.
Yeah, but it don't cost that much, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I stopped buying physical for at least Xbox, and I'm telling you right now, if PlayStation keep going the way they're going, if I go to PC, I'm going strictly digital. So
Now you see you got more comics coming up.
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't read comics. I don't either. But no, the only person that reads books is a nerd. Okay. Uh,
No, wait. Hold on. Malta. Are you talking about comic books or are you talking about all books in general? All books in general. So by your logic, were you a nerd when you were forced to read books in school? Does that classify you as a nerd, Moto? Like, I'm just asking. Like, I'm just very curious what your thoughts are. Like, that's saying that you a nerd, by reading. I mean, look, people read for entertainment also. Like, why people just can't read a comic or novel or graphic novel for the sake of entertainment, or for the sake of gaining extra knowledge, for the sake of studying. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of advantages that you have just for simply reading books. And look, and I want to say this also, Malta. You are a nerd regardless, if that's your position, regardless if you're reading a book or if you're reading an article online, that still makes you a nerd. You're still reading the same material. So pretty much what you're saying, you reading period makes you a nerd, and I don't think that's true.
Okay. Whitney says, "What's going on, everybody?"
What's up, Whitney? You're back again. What's going on?
All right. So David responds to Malta. You see people reading comics? Yeah, maybe because you're hanging out inside of a comic book store and nowhere else. um.
No. Hold up, Mo. No. What I see, I already said you weren't listening. I said whether if it's no, I didn't even mention the comic book store. Whether if it's at a coffee shop or people just hanging out, airports, whatever, you see somebody reading something. You know what I mean? Like, you still see somebody reading something, whether they are reading a comic, or if maybe they're studying for an exam, they're reading something. So does that make you a nerd too? Like, I don't think so. And it's not just at the comic book store. You see people do a lot of different things whenever they are waiting in line or whatnot. You know what I mean?
And so Joshua's in the chat. What's going on, man?
What's up, Joshua?
Malta says, "I'd rather have Game Pass than buy the physical games if I still play video games." So David said that honestly, I can't even read ebooks on normal screens. It has to be like an e an ink screen or an actual book. I can understand that. I can understand that.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people had the exact same complaint as I do, and I'm really glad that you mentioned that, David, because whenever I read off of my phone, or if I try to read on the computer, dude, like, I just, for some reason, I just can't stick my eyes on my laptop or my tablet when I'm reading. Playing a game is something different, but when it comes to like reading, like, I feel like I have to have the physical material to actually have a better experience of whatever that I'm reading, whether if I'm reading for knowledge or for the sake of entertainment, or if I'm just studying. Like, I prefer to have the physical material. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you there. I can't do it digitally. I just can't. And I know a lot of people feel the exact same way, which is why, since people feel the exact same way, comic books are here to stay.
So, okay, let's move on to the actual podcast. All right, so this
Because I read books. Guess I'm a nerd, as well. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you wrong for that. I was a nerd for reading books at school. Yes. Okay. Wait. So by your logic, Malta, every single student was a nerd. By your logic, you see how that doesn't make any sense? When we all were reading to pass a test or pass an exam, or pretty much just trying to pass the class, what you're saying is that every single student was a nerd for simply for going to school. Come on, Malta, like, to do better. Don't use some some
let
common
me let
sense.
me let me let me, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think kids are reading books more or less?
If they're in school, I think they're reading more.
No, I think they're reading less books. In the digital age, they're reading less.
If that was the case, why have a library if that's the case?
Oh,
Why bother having a library in schools if
you think
people
you
are
think you think you think
are
you think
reading less?
the only thing that's at a library is books?
That's the main purpose for a library movie.
It may be the main purpose, but that's not why. That's not the only. That's not the sole reason why people go there. And I guarantee you, if the leadership in this state has their way, they would absolutely get rid of libraries if they had their choice.
That is so not true. We're not gonna get political here, but that is just BS on your part. That is not true. It's
That's
certain
100% true.
that is
It's a
certain
hundred
books.
percent true.
That's certain books.
All right, it should not be certain books. It shouldn't be certain books. But regardless of that, this is what we saw from Volition Games, right? So you're the one that recently added this, but I'm gonna do it because you have what? How many topics do you have? You have one. You pretty much have the other two, and I didn't want you to just you can still show what you got to show, but let me read this. This is from Volition Game, the creators of Saints Row. The Volition team has proudly created world class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We've been driven by a passion for our community and always work to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. That's a shitty leader, if you ask me. As
Hmm.
part of that program, they um, evaluated strategic and operational goals and made the difficult decision to close Volition effective immediately. To help our team, we are working to provide job assistance and help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all the love and support over the years. You will always be in our hearts, Volition Games. So that was their statement after Embracer Group. Now, mind you, for those of you who don't know who Embracer Group is, they were the company that bought a whole bunch of studios and bought a whole bunch of properties. I think they own, if I'm not mistaken, I think they own the rights to what's that game called? Tomb Raider. I think they own the. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Let me look at the properties that they own. In the meantime, you can get your stuff ready.
Yeah. That was my sister. She was trying to say hi. Um. Go. What you were saying?
Um, no, I was just trying. I was just trying to No, I'm just trying to figure out what stuff they own.
Okay.
Okay, so oh yeah, so they own. They're pretty much a group that used to be part of THQ. So they own. I mean, they own a whole bunch of studios. Yeah, they own a whole bunch of studios. Amplifier, Game Invest. Let's see, Gearbox. So they own that company. Saber Interactive and THQ Nordic. So they own a lot of properties,
Yeah.
right? So and what happened was they bought these properties and it seems to me that if these games don't do well, the studio closing down. And the reason why that's relevant is because we have another company in Microsoft that is trying to consolidate the industry also by buying a whole bunch of studios. And thankfully, the game we're going to be talking about next, Starfield, seemed to do well, seemed to have done well. But it's always something that you always have to be careful of. You always have to be careful of that. So there you go. What you got?
Um. Okay. Uh. Yeah. So this is pretty much the other article. Like it had everything that it had pretty much everything that you just mentioned, like the quote of Volition. But real quick, just to get things up to speed real quick. So it says yesterday, Volition Games, the studio behind Saints Row and Red Faction, franchise announced it was shutting down effective immediately. Today, it released a new statement discussing its 30-year history and thanking the talent that has come through its doors across 3 decades and its community of fans. And this is what you had read earlier.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna skip that since you had read it already. And it says that 30 years of making games, there are only a handful of studios in the industry that have been around 30 years, and we took a lot of pride over Volition being one of them. Volition has been around long enough that some folks forget what we made, but they certainly know our games. Refrains such as Volition made Descent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Descent, or Volition made Free Space. Do you know? Do you remember this game?
No.
I can't remember. And that summon RPG with that hilarious video are not uncommon. Sometimes it's easier to remember the games more than the studio that built them, especially for those that have been around as long as we have. But all good things come to an end, and so it is with Volition. After 30 years, Volition has closed, and we wanted to say a few final words. Now, the thing that I have always said to I think to you and to a few other people, and I think you have partially agree with me, was that when these companies, because you and I have always mentioned like the suits, and I had always asked you the question regarding to the people in the higher ups or investors and things like that. We have always asked the question: these studios, these developers, they know how the game is running, and if the game is buggy, if the game is not good, like they know how the game is before they release it to the public. And I think you and somebody else had mentioned that, well, it's up to the investors. They want them to sell the game immediately, regardless if the game is good or bad. And to me, now I'm not saying that that is the sole reason why this company is probably gone down, but there is absolutely no way that you could tell me that how awful Saints Row was. You really honestly think that you were going to make money if you could continue producing bad games? If you're going to continue, producing bad games and have a reputation of producing bad games, then like, what did you really expect? Like, this is clearly Volition's fault for giving bad games to the people. Like, so when I hear people say things like, "Oh, remember, it's a business decision. They have people. Have to make money. Blah blah blah." Okay, I understand that, but no business is going to run properly if all you're going to do is give the public broken games and broken devices. And you constantly rely on day one patches, oh, we'll fix the game later, but yet you still have our entire money for buying the game. You still expect us to pay full price for these games. At the end of the day, people are going to say, you know what, screw it, I'm just not going to support your game anymore. I honestly believe the sole reason why this is constantly happening, companies continue to die down, is obviously because lack of sales. And you're going to continue to receive lack of sales if you're not making good games. I mean, it's really that simple. It's not that hard. Like, and if you're going to continue to go that route, more and more companies are going to fall. And I am going to predict that now with this company pretty much closing, I think Microsoft is probably going to try to buy them. I think
They're,
that's what's going to happen.
no,
Go ahead.
because remember they're owned by Embracer Group, so the only way that they would be able to buy them is if Microsoft decides to. If they buy them, then they can't just buy them just to buy them. Like they Embracer Group has to agree to the sales.
Oh, and basically has to agree to it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but even with all that, like I wouldn't want to like if you're Microsoft, you're probably only really wanting to buy the IP of Saints Row.
You think Saints Row is really the only one? Is really the only thing that Microsoft should be interested in?
No, it's not about that. It's just that if the studio closes, I mean, these people are not. They're not going to wait for someone else to buy them. No, they're gonna go and get new jobs. So if you're Microsoft, you're not buying the people who are there. All you're doing is just buying the IP. That's it. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
all you're doing is buying the IP. So, like I said, they would have to, you know, they would have to, make a deal with Embracer Group. But I think, like at the end of the day, like, look, Saints Row, the last one was not good. That game sucked. I don't know what they made. I don't know. I don't think the last game they made was Saints Row the Third. I think they made Gat Out of Hell or something else to that matter. Look, I don't think they were. I don't think they were. I don't think. I think they're a very overrated studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I like the Saints Row games. I remember. I think I told you about this. I downloaded Saints Row 3 and I hated it. Did not like it.
Oh, you hated it.
Yeah, I did not like it.
Okay.
And I see what they did with the. Then I see what they did with Get Out of Hell, which looks stupid. And then this last game was just dumb. Which is it's a garbage game. Technically, it's garbage. It's outdated. It was clear, and this is one of the cases where you can make this case and be right. They were clearly trying to appeal to a certain group of people, and they failed in that too. They failed in that. Like the game just wasn't good, and I think I think the game came out before they got bought. Actually, I don't know if that's true or not. I forgot when Embracer. I forgot when they bought Embracer. When Embracer bought them, but
Yeah.
the game was not good. And so they were on borrowed time anyway. And this environment, in this climate, in this industry, like if you make a bad game, if you make a game that's bad and doesn't sell, then you're fucked. You're 100% fucked. And the reason why I think you said oh you really blame the talent. I know you didn't say that outright, but you said you blamed them for making a bad game. The higher up, they know, they like you said, they know when the game is not good, but they don't care. They really don't care. All they want is the game to come out and see, and their philosophy is, "Hey, we'll fix it later. As long as the game comes out on this date, we'll fix it later."
Yeah.
And when it comes out and it's no good, then what do the higher up do? They fire people. They lay off people. They shut down studios. All over their stupid decision making. It's
Exactly.
like they're the one that make the decisions, and then when the decisions they make fail, everyone else suffers.
Yeah, that's really sad. And I do remember in the whole entire franchise, I think people liked the first two Saints Row games,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
I never got a chance. I didn't play one because like they had motorcycles, but you couldn't ride them, and I'm like, that's stupid. I'm not doing I'm not doing that because one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to do in GTA in the GTA games ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that they're in the game, but I can't ride them? No, I'm not doing that. Oh, and I never got around to playing two, but I've always heard that two is like the consensus best game. And what I think happened, and I think this is a I understand why they went this direction with the third game, but it also ended up being a worse game for me. Is that they didn't want to be a GTA clone. They didn't want to be a GTA clone, so that's why the third game, huh?
They said that?
I mean, you can tell by how the game played that they didn't want to do that. They
Okay.
didn't want to be a GTA clone because the first two games were more grounded in reality. Yeah, the first two games were grounded in reality. The third game is where all the crazy wacko shit started. and then
Okay.
it just got progressively worse from there. And what they tried to do with this game, with the new Saints Row, obviously they tried to rebrand it, and they pretty much tried to make a game that with characters that no one gives a shit about, and instead of them being kind of like assholes and dickheads like they were in the first two games, they tried to make them likable while still doing all these bad actions. And to me, I don't think that dynamic works. And plus, the dialogue, the some of the virtue signaling they were doing in the game, it didn't work because it's not clever. It's not good. And the thing that makes GTA really good is that they can balance all that stuff and still they can still be funny, but in a way that's not heavy handed or anything like that. It just you feel that these characters are you believe what these characters are saying and doing, and you understand it even though it may be like crazy and whatnot. And you didn't get that with the new Saints Row game. It just felt like everyone would just they're just pretending to be something they were not.
Do you think
And
that they should copy GTA?
I think it should. I think if you're going look, if you're going to go the route of there's nothing wrong with being a GTA clone if you're good, if it's good. But if you're gonna go wacky about it, then it has to work. If it don't work, then you get what you ended up getting with Volition, with them closing down. Is Saints Row that bad? Well, Nolan, let me ask you a question. If you what's going on, Nolan? Oh my bad.
Big shout out to you, Nolan. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
yeah.
us again, brother.
Look, if you have PlayStation Plus, it's available for free. It's available for free. So I think some people will enjoy it, but to me, I've seen so many videos on this game. First, obviously, I knew about it because of the glitches and stuff like that, and I think a lot of that stuff has been fixed. A game that big will always have a level of glitches, but to me, it's the dialogue and the characters that I legit do not like. Like I'm listening to the dialogue. I have no interest in playing with any of these characters. I have no interest in going to the story.
Okay, so the story itself was just bad already.
Yeah. I mean the best GTA clone was Simpsons Hit and Run. um did I play Hit and Run? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if I played that game. But yeah, like for me personally, it's always been hard for me to get into GTA clones. I play Sleeping Dogs, and
You've
Sleeping
been
Dogs.
you've been that way since high school.
Yeah, yeah. Sleeping Dogs is a good game, but even still, man, like I still couldn't beat that. Like you mentioned, there were tons of games back in the day that I would not play because if they're not as good as the best, then I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
That was my philosophy growing up. And I think a lot of people nowadays are clamoring for a new Getaway game. It's a game that I didn't play because, like I said, I didn't want to play anything less than GTA. But I think at this point in time, I think it would be cool if we had another GTA like game. It would be
Well,
nice.
I mean, we've been having them, over the years. Like I know True Crime, had tried it. Which I had always liked the True Crime.
I
Now
mean,
it wasn't.
Steve, you want to name a game? You want to name a game that came out this century?
Well, I'm talking about overall because you mentioned
Yeah,
Getaway.
yeah. But like, what about currently? Because we don't. I don't think we have anything current except for Saints Row, and that game sucked.
Well, we did have Watch Dogs.
And Watch Dogs, I played the first one. I think you got me the game. It's a good game. It's good, but after a while, it got boring.
Did you play the second one?
No,
Okay.
and I didn't play the third one either.
Yeah, and you already mentioned Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say of all the clones, Sleeping Dogs is by far the best one.
you didn't like Mafia?
I You see the reason why I didn't play Mafia. Well, here's the thing: Mafia 1 and 2, I didn't play because the cars in the game were too slow. Remember it's an old school game, so they obviously the car that they're driving is gonna be slow. So I
Okay.
wasn't interested in that. Now they have a Mafia 3. The problem with that game, and it features a black guy. The problem with that game is that it came out. It was a buggy mess.
Which game?
Mafia 3.
Oh, Mafia 3. Okay.
Yeah, it came out buggy, completely buggy. Like the mechanics are very last gen. Even when it came out, I think it came out on PS4 and Xbox One. It felt last gen. It felt like a PS3 game.
Wow.
It's like, bro, I ain't playing this dog shit, man. And the story seemed interesting. You know what I mean? Like it featured a black guy, which a lot of people, a lot of people were upset about that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that game, yeah, I didn't play none of those games.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about Volition. It sucks what happened to the franchise. It is where it is. I don't know if they'll. I don't know if Saints Row is ever gonna come back. Um, no, we'll see. We'll see, man. But like game games like GTA and like the GTA games, like the old school GTA games and True Crime. All those games are relics of the past. They're not going to be the same. They're not going to be the same
Yeah.
for
And a lot of people had said the reason why, like, Grand Theft Auto had gone so far, like it just revolutionized gaming so much that it people believe that it was one of the reasons why Driver couldn't compete anymore. And I mean, I love Driver. I don't know if you ever played the first one.
I played a little bit of the first one.
Yeah, and I had the second one also, and it was one of by far one of my favorite games on the PS1. But man, when Grand Theft Auto came out, it was like, at least for me, in my personal experience,
Hmm.
it felt like, gosh, what's the point of even playing driver when you're just confined and just playing and just driving around everywhere? Where in Grand Theft Auto, you could drive, you could get out the car, explore, shoot, whatever it is that you wanted to do. Where driver now, it felt like it was very restrictive. So there's never go. I don't think at this point there's not going to be a game that is going to be as good as GTA, because like they I've seen how it takes like what 10 or 12 years every time a GTA game comes out.
Hmm.
Um, I can't remember how long it was between Vice City and Part 3, but
Oh yeah, it was a year.
it was only 1 year.
Yeah,
Wow, just 1 year. Golly,
yeah,
man.
between GTA 3 and Vice City, 1 year.
Okay, but after that, it took a long time.
No, because San Andreas took I think 2 years. But after San Andreas is when the life cycles got longer and longer.
Yeah, and you could see how each time when a new one came out, it was just so revolutionary. But I honestly believe that we can have games that could compete, with GTA if they put the same dedication into it. I honestly think that the only game that I believe that had, at the very least, a way to at least be on the same level if they tried hard enough, yeah, it was Saints Row. But now that with Saints Row out the way, I mean, not Saints Row, yeah, well, yeah, Saints Row. But when you and I had saw E3 and we saw how Watch Dogs looked so revolutionary, like I honestly thought, wow, this is the game that's going to be able to compete against GTA.
Hmm.
When we saw how revolutionary it looked, when we saw how you were able to control, different electronics, around the city. I said, "Holy cow! Like this looks amazing." But then it didn't turn out to be the game that we saw on E3. We all been bamboozled by it. So, but I thought that was going to be the game. But right now, GTA has always been, top dog, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. But it does suck that Saints Row is now officially gone, and it's really their own fault, in my opinion. It's just their own fault. It's sad to see another company go, but yeah, we have to move on, and hopefully, um, it's wishful thinking, but I really hope it could bounce back. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So Ruben said that Saints Row needs to increase the scale like they did in GTA. You want to be a clone, keep up with it. New Saints Row does not keep up with GTA 5. Keep up with DLC. Make every SR DLC an event. It's like it's a new game. And he said that once the hackers got in Rockstar's site and hacked content, Volition should have been dropping racks in the hacker's pocket to copy notes. If they did that, they probably would have gotten sued. Yeah, they probably would have gotten sued, by yeah, they probably would have gotten sued by Rockstar. Probably truth be told. So, but like I said, they decided to go the different route, and ultimately it didn't work for them. So, what can you do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next topic. This is you. You can start it off.
All right. Let's try to get this one, real quick. Well, yeah, it should. Well, I don't know. I think we're gonna go through it quickly, but something tells me we might we might stay here for quite some time. So we have another gaming topic, and this is mainly about Starfield. Now, I want to say that McKinley was the one that showed me the news about this first. I didn't, and then when he showed me the news, I looked up into it. I seen how people. First off, I see how people are complaining about the game already. Because I think the game came out when the game came out yesterday. No, the game came out.
It technically not even out yet. Like the early access is what people are playing. That's been out since last Friday.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, recently, yeah.
Yeah. So
And frankly,
the game should be out. The game should be out Friday for everybody.
yeah. And frankly, the things that I've been hearing so far is that when people are playing the game, people are exploring the game. They say that there is absolutely nothing to do in the game. When they're out there exploring, they saying like everything seems empty. It's hard.
That's not what I've heard.
That's what that that's what I've heard. There was actually one video that I was watching where a guy. Let me tell you what he did. I wish I could find him, but I don't think we will have time. But he this is what he did.
I think I know what video you're talking about.
Oh, go ahead, man. Let me see if you're right.
It's a guy who got off a ship and started running. I think he started walking through a planet for 10 minutes to find and then he found. I think he found an invisible wall. Is that the one
Oh,
that you're talking about?
no, not that one. The one that I was talking about was, but see that one is interesting. But the one that I was talking about, where the guy, I don't know, he did something with his controller, and he walked for a very very long time,
Yeah,
and then
that's what I'm saying.
is that the same one? Is that where
Yeah.
did he go to like a beach or something?
I mean, I don't know. I forgot what terrain it was, but he was just walking and walking and walking until he reached a boundary or invisible wall.
Well, the one that I saw, he kept on walking and walking and walking until he went to the beach. When he was
Hmm.
at the beach, you see the waves and everything, and then he said, "Look, even way over here, there's absolutely nothing here, and there's absolutely nothing for me to do." Maybe it's the same guy, and maybe it was a different video, or maybe it's a completely different person. But I saw something different. I didn't hear anything about an invisible wall.
Okay. Continue talking. Let me look for this video. See if we're talking about the same thing.
Okay. So yeah, while Huey's doing that, that's not the only issue that I have been hearing when it comes to Starfield. There's been other things that I have heard about Starfield, and this article is going to share what that is. So, Starfield early access launch a couple of days ago has already seen a number of controversies, with the latest prompting players to mass refund. Refund. Like the game the game literally just came out, and already we having players asking for a refund. Let's figure out why. Let's figure out why. The game and streamers having meltdowns all because it allows them to choose their preferred pronouns during character selection. A clip of YouTuber Hugh versus Babyface ranting about the customization option has gone viral, with Dr. Disrespect also revealing that he was rejected by Bethesda for his past comments. So pretty much Bethesda wasn't happy with his criticism. Bethesda was obviously upset with Dr. Disrespect, which I believe that's him right here on the left side.
Okay.
This guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you follow him?
No,
Oh, you don't. Okay, you don't. Okay.
but I
So this.
know who he is.
Okay. Yeah, but I know they say he has a really major following, that he had like certain deals with
Mhm.
certain studios.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
He's a well-known streamer.
yeah. Um yeah, I would say he's in the same ballpark as Angry Joe, or maybe even bigger. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
he's bigger.
oh, he is?
Hmm.
Okay. The rants have been met with a lot of backlash, and some have painted out that giving more options to players in RPGs in terms of customization is a good thing. That said, many players seems to be refunding Starfield because it allows pronoun choice. Now look, now this is the one thing that I'm not gonna go on this "I told you so" thing to Who We Win 86 here, or to anyone else that was on Who's side. But what have I been saying for the past year, and what I have been probably saying for a very long time? That because I think your position was, Who, correct me if I'm wrong, your position has always been, well, as long as the game is good, then what does it matter? But who cares, what they do, as long as the game is good? And I have always said that I'm telling you, like, this is not just going to happen with retail stores. This is not just going to happen with comics. This is not just going to happen with this and that, with this and that, and this and that. This is also going to happen. Oh, and movies. This will also happen with games. And I knew that eventually, that when push comes to shove, if you are going to continue to go in this route and this trend of whether it's being more woke, or whether you're changing characters, where everything is just too many, you've seen too many gay stuff and now pronouns, etc., etc., eventually people are going to say, you know what, screw you. I'm not going to support your game anymore. I'm not going to support your company anymore. And here's the thing, to me, I had always was on the assumption that even with all of that, that people will probably at least still continue playing the game. But if you're going to ask for a refund within 2 days, that should already that should already be some kind of hint to these studios that, you know what, I think we need to stop doing this. I think these gamers, our fans, or whoever, are actually serious about this. We are hurt. This is hurting our pockets. We're actually hurting us within, at the end of the day, because if we're going to continue to push this stuff, whatever you want to call it, being woke or whatever it is, people are going to say, all right, enough is enough. I want a refund. I'm not playing your game anymore. I knew this was going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and say I told you so, but I knew this was going to happen eventually. If this is going to happen with products, with drinks, with comics and movies, you best believe video games is not the exception to that rule. People are going to say no more. People are going to say no. I'm sorry. I don't want to support you no more. Now let me continue reading. Do you have anything to say so far?
No.
All right, let me continue reading. All right. So I read this part already, where it says the Met has been backlash. Let me see. Okay, you take everything we love and shovel your dog crap ideology. YouTuber rants about Starfield having pronoun selections, players refund copies. Um, all right, so this one is on Twitter. This is just a couple examples here. People outraging and refunding Starfield because of a pronoun option one single time at a character creation. When BG3 literally lets you F with a bear. Okay, I didn't know anything about that, but let's continue on. For those wondering, Starfield allows players to select their preferred pronoun and starting a new character, which has ruffled many feathers. Many ex, formerly Twitter accounts have been calling out Bethesda for including it in the game. Meanwhile, people on other side are making fun of those demanding refunds and boycotts. Look, I don't look at the end of the day, regardless of which side that you are on, whether if you are the side of whether if you're on the side of them in favor of having these pronouns and being woke, or if you're not in favor of it. To me, I had already said what the solution should be with these companies or any other industry. Stay neutral. Stay neutral. Why? Because when you stay neutral, that's for everyone. When you remain neutral, continue to use the formula that you have always been using over the years. That's how you keep everybody happy. But when you want to continue to in favor of a particular group, this is the result that you're going to get. How in the world that you didn't have the foresight to see that, okay, wait a minute. We've seen this happen to Bud Light, we've seen this happen to all these other stores and industries. What makes you think that you're safe from people from boycotting you? Well, like seriously, what actually makes you safe? And we already seeing the complaints, complaining, all the complaint, and you saying that, oh, they're nothing but a bunch of weirdos who we win these things or whatever you call them. Oh, they complain just for the sake of complaining. Just play the game and and keep your mouth shut. Well, that's not what's going to happen anymore. The more you continue to do this, the more backlash you're going to receive, and the more money that you're going to lose. Let me see what this other guy said. He says, "Look at all these snowflakes trying to boycott Hogwarts Legacy." All right. Let me see. What's this one here? So this person says, um, okay, screw Bethesda, and I effing the political radical weirdos in the Western gaming industry, staining with ideological clown world BS. What should be first? The foremost, an escape from, and he said back to Skyrim, which, you know what's so funny about this comment? Um, he said screw, but it's one thing if you said screw Starfield, but you said screw Bethesda. Last time I checked, correct me if I'm wrong, Hoovy, isn't Skyrim a Bethesda game?
Yeah. So
So yeah,
it gives you an idea of who we're talking to, who we're talking about.
hmm?
Why, and it gives you an idea of the intelligence that we're talking about. Why I have no interest in wasting my time with these fucking morons. So you can continue.
Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm like 20 hours in, and I haven't seen a single woke thing in the game. I'm confused. I think it's from pronoun thing and character creator. I think what the f, it can't be. I barely even remember doing that. Okay, so you see, there's a mixture of people hating the game, people saying, "Oh, you're an idiot," like what you're saying, Hoovy, and there's people who boycotting the game, and there's people who asking for a refund the game. Now, and I haven't. Before I finish this one last thing here, now I'm going to assume that you are going to agree with this. At the end of the day, if you own a company, this is not what you want. I don't. I would assume that any businessman would not want their game, their movie, their comic to have this type of controversy. To where even if though people are out there supporting you, you don't want to you what you want is for people to talk about how good your game is. You want people to talk about what makes your game special and their experience with the game. You don't want people talking about, oh, you guys are being too woke, and because you guys are being too woke, I'm just not going to support. Like, you don't want that, for your games. You don't. As a businessman, you don't want that. You don't want your game or your company or Bud Light, for example, to be in some kind of controversy to where now you're constantly on the news, you're constantly being crapped on, you're constantly in a space where there's just nothing but drama circling around you. That's not what you want. That's not going to help your company at the end of the day, in the long run, I should say. Now, this is the last thing I'm gonna read, and you could share your thoughts. YouTuber Heel versus Babyface had quite a meltdown about Starfield going woke. While talking about gender pronouns on stream and on clips has seen gone viral on social media, gathering a lot of attention. Which, once again, this is something that you do not want. You don't want attention just by pronouns or being about woke. You want the attention of how good your game is. That's what you should be aiming for. For context, a couple of users on X noted how the option to choose pronouns in a character creator did not sit right with certain gamers who are now demanding refunds and talking about boycotting the game. And I guess this is all right. Yeah, so this is I pretty much read this one similar. This dude clearly, this whoever this person is really really upset. I love nothing more than to be dragged out in every effing conceivable opportunity so that you can effing current day us. Sorry, you want to get immersed in the world? Guess what? Effing pronouns, effing gender ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
I could have sworn maybe those are the same thing, but okay, I'll take it for it. Ambiguity. Effing current day Californian crap because what man? He's cursing too much, man. Like, do you want to read the rest of this?
I'm not reading comments from fucking morons.
No, all right, yeah. He's cursing way too much because we are boring, so we're boring. We can't see past your effing reflections that the level of your narcissism at the Bethesda Western gaming company and Review Tech USA. He said, "I'm jealous, to be honest. I want to live in heel versus babyface world where life is so easy that pronouns in a character creation screen cause me to rage like this." All right, yeah. So there's obviously what everybody could see. There's just more cursing. People are complaining. Whoever this guy is, people are highly upset about this game. Now, once again, um, okay, I read this portion already. Let me see if there's anything else important on here. Um, while Starfield has seen its fair share of praise, many streamers have expressed skepticism about the release, with popular Twitch creator Zach, um, whatever his name is, even saying the game first impressions weren't good. And see, stuff like this, in my opinion, is what important. You see, the thing is, when you are constantly focusing on, oh, the thing is being too woke, you're you're removing yourself away from, is the game good or not? Can't you enhance the experience? Is there anything that we can improve? But for right now, all the attention has been woke stuff, refunds, boycotting. Not if the game is good, not if the game is bad, not if the game is buggy. Do we need patches? The most important things that you should talk about is if the game is good. Is this game revolutionary? Is this game worth buying? No, no, you're not seeing these conversations right now. What you are seeing is people boycotting the game and people no longer want to support the game or Bethesda for that matter. That is what you're actually seeing. And in my opinion, Bethesda should not want that. Bethesda should not want that. And do you have the video that you wanted to show, or do you have
No,
something to say?
I can find it.
Or you couldn't find it?
Well, yeah, I can find it. But I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know who you're looking for, but I didn't know anything about a boycott or anything like that. All I see on my timeline.
You just read it. You just read it.
Okay, yeah, I read it, but I up until that point, I didn't see anything regarding that. right? What I've seen is I see one group of PlayStation fanboys trying to act like this game is the worst game ever made. I see Xbox fanboys pretending that this is the greatest game ever made.
Okay.
And ultimately, here's the thing. The game has an 86 on Metacritic right now. So clearly it's a good game. It may not be for you or whatever. It's a good game. This game has probably less bugs than previous Bethesda games, which is a good thing. But also a lot of people are saying that the game made promises that did not materialize. And that is stuff that will come from, I guess it will get better within time, right? Because this is one of those games where they're going to try to they're going to try to add content to where it'll survive for a long time, right? Now, for those fucking idiots who want refunds, no one told, because the only way you can get this game currently is if you paid $100 for it.
Okay.
Because remember, this game, the only thing that the game is not officially out yet.
Yeah.
So they have this special edition which I think costs $100. You're going to spend $100 fucking dollars on a game and you're not going to do research on it. They had multiple directs regarding this game. If pronouns was something that you were so fucking worried about, you should have watched those directs. And I'm sure that those things were like what 2-3 seconds of like 2 hours and 4 hours that they've done with the they done showcasing this game, because at the end of the day it doesn't fucking matter what pronouns are available. This is why I do not like entertaining fucking morons. They might as well get upset that you can play as a woman.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If you're getting upset over options, then why am I listening to you? Why are we even talking about these fucking morons? And this is more so for the guy on the right, because I don't really know what Dr. Disrespect said. I know he made some comments about trans people that's probably why Bethesda banned them. But here's the thing about Bethesda.
Yeah.
They will ban you if you harsh their game critically, or if you criticize them, they will block you from reviewing their games. They will blacklist you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Dr. Disrespect. But the dipshit on the right, let's go through a little history lesson. Mass Effect. You could be gay in Mass Effect. Did people complain? No. You know what they were talking about when it comes to Mass Effect? How grand the game was, how crazy the game was, how your choices mattered in Mass Effect.
Yeah, I had the game. Trust me, all that is 100% true. Yes.
Yeah, and this goes straight to you. This goes straight to you, right? Did you give a shit if you can be gay or not?
No, and frankly,
no, because it never came to your mind. Now, did it?
No.
Okay, and then that was what, like 10, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
And now I offer you to borrow Horizon Zero Dawn, and you said no. And why is that? Because of an option in the game that you don't have to pick. Why am I wasting my time trying to convince these people about anything? Why am I listening to these fucking morons? They're clearly idiots. They're clearly morons. I don't want to fucking listen to these fucking people. At the end of the day, all they do is bitch and complain for the sake of bitching and complaining. And unfortunately, Steve, you're part of the problem.
Okay.
Because you've done it too. 12 years ago, you didn't give a flying fuck what option was in the game. Now you won't even touch it. You won't even touch a game because of it.
When it comes to Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you said because didn't you say that she's now gay in the game? Didn't you say that?
I never said that. I said there was an option and you got so pissed off about the option that you at one point said, "Oh, let me borrow the game," and then in the next breath you said, "Oh, I'm not playing the game."
Yeah, I decided that you could keep your game, and I'm not interested in borrowing it from you.
Exactly. Despite the fact that you played Mass Effect, one of the best games that you've ever played. Yes or no?
Correct.
So yeah, you're part of the problem. You have a bunch of people who all they want to do is bitch and complain on the internet for clout. That's the only reason why that awful piece of shit, bald-headed dipshit did that today. That's the only reason why he did it. No. Let me finish. It's the only reason why he did what he did. It's the only reason. Anybody who spent $100 and didn't do the proper research on the game, I hope when you get your money back, I hope that money fucking burns. And it burns anything close around you, because you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking moron.
My goodness, you're cursing as much as he is now. Like,
fuck him, and fuck anybody who asked for a refund for the fucking game. Because clearly, that's all that didn't matter to you. If you want to get a refund because the game wasn't what they promised, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. But if pronouns are what's causing you not to play the game or whatever, then go fuck yourself. Seriously, go find another hobby. Fuck off.
Are you only mad at this guy, or are you mad at both of these guys?
I'm not like I said, I don't know what Dr. Disrespect issues are. I'm talking about the awful human being on the right. And all these other people that you're mentioning who are refunding the game because of a fucking pronoun.
Well, okay, what about the people boycotting the game?
They can boycott the game. Go fuck off. I don't fucking care. Like I give two flying fucks if they boycott a game. At least you didn't spend money on it. At least I can say that about them.
Well, yeah, because now they see that because you have the option with all these pronouns, what people are saying now, you see, this is proof that they're trying to throw this stuff in our face, so they're not going to buy it.
Don't buy it. Then don't buy it. Fuck off. Go fuck off underneath a rock or something. Who cares? Why am I wasting my breath and wasting my energy on these fucking morons? In a game that features fighting monsters in space and all that other stuff, pronouns are what's keeping you, is what's gonna take you over the edge. I ain't got time to listen to your bullshit. Clearly it's not. Clearly you don't care enough to play the game. Fuck off and do something else.
So okay, so I just want to be clear here.
In the game, mind you, where you can create your own character. You're not playing a character. If Ayla was gay and you didn't want to play the character, I would find it dumb. But okay, whatever. That's a character that you're being forced to play technically. This game, you are creating your own fucking character, and people are upset that you have another group of people who can choose the character that they want. They're mad that gay people are not forced to play as straight characters. That's what they're upset about. And so why the fuck would I waste my fucking time entertaining these fucking morons? If you want to create your character to be straight, then you can do that. But if the game decides, if you want an option to be gay, you could be gay. Go ahead. Or if you want to, you could be him, her, she, they, them, whatever. Who gives a flying fuck? And anybody who does is not worth my fucking time. Because all they're doing, they're just bitching for the sake of bitching and complaining. And those are the type of people I don't want nothing to do with. I don't want to hear from them. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk to them. They can rot in hell for all I care.
So you're with all this stuff that you're saying, I just want to be clear here. You're mad at me at this again, aren't you?
No, it has nothing to do with you. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy in what you did.
Why?
And
Because
you
I was
fall and you fall into that category. You absolutely do fall into that category.
I fall into a category because I said that I was upset that whatever her name is from Horizon is now a gay character.
Yeah. Yeah, because you didn't give. Because here's the thing, you're talking about all this as if you agree with these fucking morons. When in actuality, you played a game where you can be gay in the game, and you did not care. This is not new. The stuff that they're doing in Bethesda is not new. Hell, it may not even be new in their games. But the problem is, you have a bunch of people who don't care about the game, who don't know anything about their gaming history. All they want to do, they go on social media, bitch and complain, for the sake of bitching and complaining for clout. And anybody who wants to make themselves look like a fucking dumb moron just for clout, I don't want nothing to do with them.
You despise those people.
Yeah, because they're miserable. They're miserable human beings. Why would I waste my time dealing with these fucking morons?
Well, now you mentioned to me that I became a hypocrite because I no longer wanted to borrow your game. Now, Avenel, you do realize that in the first one, you mentioned, that's why I asked you. You said that there was an option for you to become gay or not, or that you didn't even know, or they didn't reveal what her sexuality was in the first one. But on the second one, they clearly made her a character where you could choose. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In the second Horizon game, are you able to choose if you could be gay or straight?
No, it was a one choice that they added in a DLC.
Okay, a choice in a DLC game. And I mean a choice that's in a DLC where you could see what, like a scene, like can you give more context?
Yeah, there's an option to kiss someone in the game if you want to choose it or not.
Okay, Havanel, you do realize by making that option, you pretty much made her a gay character. You know that, right?
All right, so let me get this straight. If you
No, no,
play
hold on,
as
hold
no. Okay, I'm okay. I'm gonna the answer.
on.
Dude, Steve. The answer is I don't give a flying fuck. You have
No,
the
no, no,
option.
you
You
can't
have
say
the
that.
option.
No, no,
No. Because here is it. I'm gonna knock this down right now because I'm not interested. I'm not interested in yelling at you. Right? Because you play as Chun-Li, that makes you a woman now. Does that make you a
what?
woman now? If you play as Chun-Li, that makes you a woman now.
No, but I don't understand the correlation.
All right. If you play as Cloud, right, and you decide to pick one option over the other, right, like that means that's your character now, right? Steve, every game has choices. Everyone has choices to make, right? You make your choice and you move on. It's that simple. If the choices that are there make you upset, where you can choose, you don't have to choose that option if you don't want to. You don't have to. But if those options are what pissing you off, then I don't see. Truth be told, we have nothing to talk about. We have nothing to talk about because at the end of the day, it has nothing. You all you want to do is get upset for the sake of getting upset. All you want to do is get mad for the sake of getting mad. And I can't. There's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is make sure you get mad. It is what it is. Just get upset. It is what it is.
You fail to, if people do not want to see trans stuff, gay stuff in their video games, I don't see what the big deal is. If people don't
Right,
want to see it,
then play a game that
no,
don't
no,
have
no,
it. Then
Come on,
play games don't have it.
I
Then
want to
play
finish.
games don't have it.
I want to
See,
finish.
that's why you can finish, but don't play. Then play a game that don't have it, and
No,
stay away from me, and stay
okay,
away from me.
yeah. What I'm saying is, if people are saying to these studios, to other gamers like you or whoever, if I don't want to see transgenderism in my games, if I don't want to see pronouns in my games, because a lot of people, they want to get away from that stuff. They're seeing it enough in movies or in their cartoons or whatnot, in their comics, etc., etc. They've seen it enough. They're seeing it in advertisement. They are sick and tired of it. They want to play these games to get away from that. That's one of the reasons why people play games, to get away from politics. Some people like you get away from it because of religion. People want to get away with it from away from reality. That's what
Wait,
they
wait,
want.
wait, wait, wait. Oh, wait.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
No,
hold on,
no, 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 no. No, I
You talk
call, no, 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 no. I call bullshit on that. No, 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 no.
talk
Stop,
a lot.
stop. I call bull. No, I call
I
bullshit
want
on
to
that.
finish. Wait,
No,
let
no,
me
no, no,
finish.
no, 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 no. I have to stop. I have to stop you. I have to stop you. I have to
I
stop.
want to finish my
stop.
point. I want to finish my point. I want to finish my point.
See,
I need to
honestly,
finish my point. Let me finish my
see,
point. Let me finish my point. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Hold that thought.
no, no, I know, no. I'm done. You continue. No, finish what you gotta say, and then we can move on to the next topic. We can
No,
finish
no, go
what
ahead,
you
go
gotta
ahead,
say.
go ahead. Okay,
No, no, no. I know.
my
No, go ahead.
apologies. My apologies.
Go ahead.
You can finish.
Go
You can
ahead.
finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Okay, my bad. Go ahead, go ahead.
Look, there's you said that, oh, I play video game to get away from religion.
I'm just you know what I mean.
No, no, I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you mean. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Don't just say shit for the sake of saying shit. Is that what you said? Yes or no?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. I
Okay,
have no
fine.
idea what you mean.
Okay, don't you overall, do you play video games? As one of the reasons why you play video games is not just for the sake of entertainment. That's the majority of the reason. But don't you play video games also to get away from, like, for example, work or politics or whatever? Or I just want to play my game, enjoy my game, and screw everything else.
No,
Okay.
I play games to get away from work, from stress.
Oh, okay. That's what I said.
No. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. Because I can deal with politics. I can deal with religion. You want to know why? Because when someone goes to a church, I'm not yelling at them, oh, stop going to church. Not stop doing this, stop doing that. You want to know why? Because I mind my own fucking business. That's why. I play Far Cry 5. All tons of religious innuendos in that game. In GTA 5, you deal with a religious cult. Did I get upset? Be like, oh, keep religion out of my game. No, I fucking didn't. I played the fucking game. If you guys don't want to live in reality, then that's your fucking business. But the thing is that these guys, they make the games in their vision. If you don't like it, there are games out there to where you can play. There's games out there for you to play. So go ahead. You can say what you say, and then we can move on.
Yeah. So
Say what you guys say, so we can move on.
Let me see if I remember what I was going to say. So at the end of the day, you have seen in recent past, people are sick and tired of seeing all this transgender stuff, all this pronoun stuff, all this gay stuff, constantly invading in their personal space. Invading, whether if people are getting upset, whether if it's affecting their kids in school, people are upset about it because it's in constant advertisement. People are upset because now it's in their movies. People are upset because it's in their cartoons. People are upset that it's in their novels and their comics, and now it's in their video games. So yes, people are going to complain. And with all the boycotts that you have seen in recent past, even to the point where it's even when it's on beverages, freaking Bud Light. You mean to tell me that, oh, suddenly now now they're going overboard because it's in video games, because it's the industry that you care about? Is that what we're going on here? People have been upset about this stuff in every single other industry, Hoovy 186. They've been upset about this in every other industry. And that is why I asked the question, why is it a big deal or a big difference now when it comes to gaming? If people don't want to see it and there's something as simple as advertisement, which takes less than a minute, you mean to tell me that people are not going to be upset that now it's in their games too? Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously. They want to get away from that stuff. And now that it is so evasive that it's in their games, yes, people are going to ask for refunds. People are going to say, I'm going to boycott the game. People are going to say, I want nothing to do with the company. That's what's going to happen. It's been happening in every single other industry, and video games and the video game industry is now included in that. That's what I have to say. We can move on.
Okay, let me read some comments. Let me see. Corporate cyber warfare happens all the time. Knowing GTA made $1 billion and its highest earning IP of all time, I'll risk it. I wouldn't. Critical Drop says Starfield IMO is out of Game of the Year contention.
I guarantee you it is. Go ahead.
No, I mean it may not win Game of the Year, but it definitely should be in contention. It may not be.
You think it should be in contention?
It could be. It wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. Because, like I said, you guys can bitch and complain about the game all you want. The game has an 86 on Metacritic. The game is an 86. Now again, do I think there's other games that will surpass it? Yeah, I do. But if it was a contender for Game of the Year, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility. All right, so in the game, you can make a male character with female pronouns. Yeah, and that pisses people off for some reason because they're too weak. They're too mentally weak. Rosemary says hi. How you doing?
What's up, Rosemary? How are you? It's been a long time.
And David, and I agree with David on this. You're wrong about that. Companies want controversy. All press is good press, to some degree. No, I agree with him there.
Let me tell you why you're wrong, and let me tell you why you're wrong. Who we win 86. If you are a company that is now solely reliant on controversy, clearly your focus has changed.
Let me ask you a question. Well, what do you think about Hogwarts Legacy? Did that game come out with no controversy whatsoever?
Yeah, but people were mad about the game, saying that the game was a bad game.
No, the game was not a bad game.
Yeah, and me and you proved them wrong.
No.
We were showing. I remember that podcast. We were showing gameplay footage.
The reason why people didn't like the game because the creator of the game that was being made is transphobic. That's why the controversy happened. It had nothing to do with whether the game was good or bad. We were saying the game was good. We were saying that the game looked good, and there was a lot of publications. There were some publications that were trying to trash the game, despite the fact that it obviously was a polished game.
Yeah, but remember, people were saying that the game was a 0.
But here's the thing. But why? Yeah, but why do you think that? But you said that the game that there's no game that should be controversial, right? Stay neutral, right?
Yes.
All right, but we didn't talk about that when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, but when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy, that was a game that you and I wasn't interested to begin with.
All right, Steve, stop concentrating on me and you. We're talking about in general. There were tons of controversy surrounding that game.
Yes.
Because the person who created that game is transphobic, and yeah, I think transphobic. But me and you defended the game, yes or no?
Correct.
Okay, but you're the same guy who said, "Oh, don't be controversial, stay down the middle."
Yeah,
say.
Yeah, don't be controversial because you have to you run the risk of people boycotting you. That's why.
And
why if I'm a businessman, why would I want constant negative press on my products? Why?
Steve, we live in a world where everything will get negative press. because we live in two separate worlds where you have one group of people who believe one thing and you have another group of people who believe another. That's the reality that we live in. And Hogwarts, there were lots of people who boycotted Hogwarts Legacy. There were lots of people who did.
And you think that's a good thing? No.
It is what it is. There's nothing you can do to change it. At the end of the day, all you gotta do is make the game good. That's it. Like, I can't help it that some dipshit on Twitter wants some clout. I can't help it that a bunch of fucking morons have a platform where they can spew their fucking nonsense. All I can say is fuck them and continue doing what I'm doing. Like, it's that simple. I'm not kowtowing to these fucking morons. If pronouns are the reason why you don't like my game, then fuck off. Play in traffic. Jump off a bridge. Like, I've wasted my time dealing with these fucking morons.
I mean, I get your frustration, but but at the end of the day, if you had a product, if you had a game or whatever that you had that you're selling to the public, you don't want to be in the exact same position what happened with Bud Light. You don't. All that negative press that Bud Light had, and again, I don't want to be political here, but that's a very good example for me to use. Nobody would never want to be.
I will gladly take it. I will gladly take it. You want to know why? Because I stand up to what I believe in. If I make a decision, I'm gonna stand to my decision. I'm not gonna let some fucking morons. I'm not gonna let some intolerant dipshits dictate what I do. They don't like it. If they don't like it, they can fuck off.
And that even means of you constantly losing money.
Whatever. It is what it is. What? It is what it is. But I'd rather lose money and stick to my conviction than kowtow to these fucking morons to make millions.
All right.
All right. So Malta said he wouldn't choose a gay character.
I wouldn't choose a gay character either, and that should be fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't need to hear it I don't need to hear it, and I don't need you telling them what to do with their game. Tyra Williams says, "Hi, hey, great talk, guys."
What's up, Tyra? You're finally able to join the chat. I told you, the app isn't really that hard. Just join us, and I appreciate that you are here, Tyra. Much appreciated.
You know her from church?
No. Right. I actually know her from school, like this class that we were taking a while ago.
Okay. So Malta says, if I was a gamer and I was about to buy a video game and found out that there was a gay playable character, I would be less inclined to purchase it.
Oh, there you go, Hoovy. There you go.
What is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, look. He said if I was a gamer and I was wait, hold on, Malta, you don't play games anymore. But anyway, he said if I was a gamer.
Yeah, he said if I was a gamer.
Okay, if I was a gamer and I was about to buy a video game and I found out there was a gay playable character, I would be inclined to purchase it.
Okay. Yeah. So what is that? What you say? Oh, okay. Look at this. Like, what am I supposed to care? What am I supposed to care? I'm supposed to care that he's not gonna play a game because of a gay character. It's his choice, but I don't give a shit about that. Well, I'm supposed answer the question. Am I supposed to care?
No, but I'm telling you, a lot of people feel that way.
That's fine. I don't give a flying fuck how they feel. I don't care. They can feel how they want. All right. So David said that I don't care. I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't want my kids playing a video game that denies an essential reality of male and female. I mean, so if they play, so David, let me ask you a question. So if they play as a gorilla destroying the city. Like what we talk, dude? We're talking about fantasy here. We're talking about fantasy. Like so you guys are comfortable playing with a guy with a mustache who bought bricks, eats consumes mushrooms, consumes flowers, turns into a fucking half man, half flying thingy. Like are we really doing the whole the line is the reality of man and woman? That's what we're doing. So he said, "Oh, you admit that transgenderism is a fantasy. If it is to you, if you think it is to you, then fine. But like, I'm not going to act like, oh, I don't want my kids playing that when there's a bunch of other shit that they're playing. There's a bunch of other stuff that they're playing, and yet we're gonna draw the line at man and woman. Like, really? Ah, man, that's not, to me. It's silly. It's silly to me. All right. All right. So he said that he sees your point. So I guess he agrees with you.
All right. All right. I'm glad I was able to persuade somebody.
Come on, he was gonna agree with you no matter what. What the fuck?
That's not true. Me. Trust me. Me and Dave have our disagreements at certain things too. We don't agree with every single thing, man. We've had our private, chats of disagreements. We have, and and that's okay.
Yeah, when it comes to this, I guarantee he agree with you more than he agree with me, and that's fine. But I'm not going to let a bunch of fucking idiots who don't know their gaming history, dictate the narrative of a game that's coming out. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but yet they're the one that get all the attention. I mean, some people want to play a game and not just deal with the controversy of sex, religion, and sexuality.
Exactly.
Right. And there's games for you like that. There's games for you like that, like Fall Guys. Now you may be upset that you can't tell the difference if the person you're playing is a man or a woman, but you don't deal with none of that in Fall Guys. Like, you don't deal with it in Fall Guys. There are games for you for that. But there are also games that should be made for people who can deal with that as an adult, who can deal with that and play the game regardless. There should be room for both.
I just proved my point already to you that you've seen the complaints in every other industry right now.
And I don't fucking care, Steve. I don't fucking care.
And it's been
I see the complaints, but I don't fucking care.
Okay, and obviously it made news media. It obviously went viral, and because of that, companies lose money over it.
Yeah, then they could lose money.
People are sick and tired of it.
As much as you, Steve, it doesn't matter what you say. I'm still going to say the same thing. I don't care.
Clearly, you do, because you were upset about it.
No. I'm upset. I'm upset that people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about are trying to dictate to developer what they should do with their game. That's what's pissing me off. You got a bunch of people who are trying to destroy this gaming industry. And one of them are these fucking loser dipshits who all they want is clout. They don't want to think of that. Like I said, there are games for you. There are games for you where you can play those games where you don't have to think about none of that. You could play Rocket League. There's no gender in cars. You play that game. So Critical Drop said that Starfield would not be nominated besides Zelda RE4. RE4 is a remake. That's not getting nominated. Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Armored Core 6, Remnant 2, and even Street Fighter 6 are Game of the Year contenders. Mind you, Hades 2, COD, Modern Warfare 3 are coming as well. I mean, it may be, maybe not, but this controversy is not going to be the reason why it's not Game of the Year contender. Like, it's not. And Joe said that the fuck did I just click into?
Can I explain to him?
No, this rewind. Rewind. Tyra said that but some people feel like showing transgender and everything are destroying the gaming industry. No, it's not. It's not. Because at the end of the day, you're still it's not because you're still playing the game.
No. I do. We read the article. People are refunding the game.
They can refund the fucking game. I don't fucking care, Steve. But at the end of the day, if that is the reason why they're not playing the game, then they don't give a shit about the game in the first place.
That's a bunch of crap happening. We already went through this already. If
We already went through it, and I don't want to go through it again. But I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
If people are going to say, listen, if you are going to shove this stuff down my throat where I have to watch and now I have to participate in your pronoun and your transgender stuff, you are going to see people, like we read in the article, people had asked for a refund. Other people that discovered the game, that discovered that you were able to have these options that haven't bought the game yet, are now boycotting the game. At the end of the day, having no, if I owned that company, if I was the CEO of Bethesda, that's not good news for me. That's not good news for me because now that people who ask for refunds, guess what? When new downloadable content is available, they're not going to buy it. When customizations and new characters are available for download, guess what? Because they ask for a refund, they're not going to buy it. More and more money is going to get lost. Hoovy 186.
Okay,
that's not good for business.
Again, I don't care. You keep saying all this shit. I don't fucking care what Bethesda does with their money. I don't. But here's the thing. There are tons of people who actually do care. They do. You don't want to acknowledge it, but they do. And for them, if that's the stuff that they want, they'll get what they want. You don't want what they're offering, then fuck off and go and play something else. Fuck off and play something else. Is that simple? So, she said, Tyra said, it feel like it goes both ways, but that's how you feel. You have your perspective, and other people have theirs. That's fine. That those people perspectives are idiots. They're idiots. Respectfully. Not obviously not you and anyone else here, but you know what I mean. Other people.
Respectfully, he said.
All right. So going to critical jobs, he said that RE4 should be nominated. FF7 was nominated. Let RE4 be a Game of the Year nominee. Exactly. It's not going to be because it's a remake. One. And I don't like was Final Fantasy nominated for Game of the Year? I don't know, but like I personally I think there's enough games to come out to where I don't think RE4 will be a Game of the Year nominee. I just don't. So I think if it does, it is what it is. Like
I think it will be nominated for Game of the Year, and once again, it'll be hypocritical if they don't, because if that's the reason why it should have, and I think Seaframe had the same argument as you had, but if Final Fantasy VII was nominated and that's a remake, there's no reason why Resident Evil 4 should not be nominated either.
All right, so tradition was added again. All right, so Joe, he said, is it a vocal minority? Baldur's Gate got animal sex and gay sex. No one's boycotting it because people want it. It's funny because I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know nothing about Baldur's Gate having animal sex. I had no idea. Yeah, but guess what? If I played Baldur's Gate and I was given if I was given the choice to have sex with an animal or whatever, then I would say no. But if I do have sex with the animal, I'm gonna be like, okay, fuck it, whatever. Because here's the thing, and this is the most important thing. If the game sucks, I'm not playing it no matter what the fuck is in it. I'm not playing that game no matter what's in it if the game sucks, which is the only thing that matters. Which is what I've always said. So Joe said that Final Fantasy 7 had a different story, though it wasn't a one-to-one remake.
You know what that means?
No, it's a different game than the original. Like that's true. Like Final Fantasy 7 is a different game from the original. And RE4 is different. They did change a lot of stuff, but at its core, it's still Resident Evil 4. If you look at Final Fantasy PS1 and Final Fantasy PS4, they're different games. But if you look at RE4 PS2 and RE4 PS5, they're fundamentally the same game. Granted, with a lot of changes, but they're still the same game.
Yeah,
These are my
but the changes are drastically different. Now, they may not be as drastic as Final Fantasy 7 for the PS1 to Final Fantasy for the PS 4 PS5. But it's at the end of the day, it's still a remake. And if you're going to be technical about it, if Resident Evil is not going to be nominated because of that reason, then neither should have Final Fantasy 7. It'll still play hypocrisy on their part if that's the sole reason why it's not going to be nominated. At least in my opinion. And David, you're right. You said oh, negative press is what gotten what's his name, president. I mean that was really a lot of just entertainment, to be honest with you. That just to point that out, that was farly because of more of how entertaining he was to listen to. At least I think so.
So Hoovy said, oh shit. Hoovy said, "F off and play Redfall." Like true, like honestly, that true. You want to play? You don't want to play a game with with transgenderism and all the other stuff. Just play Redfall. Play that piece of garbage. All right, so F video. I wouldn't want my kids playing a game that has animal and gay sex in it too. WTF? I mean, but it's in there. But it's in the game.
Yeah, and I'm right by your side, Dave. If I had a son or daughter and I find out that there's gay sex in it, or you're having sex with animals or whatever it is, absolutely not. They're not going to play the game. They are not playing the game. The game's going right into the trash.
But the game is rated the game is rated M for mature. So if a game is rated M, they shouldn't be playing that game at all.
Now tell Jabana that.
I mean, but the thing is that if Jabonis' kid is playing an M-rated game, and he can parent his kid and tell them and kind of get them to understand the difference between fantasy and reality, then I don't see there's no problem with that. But in your case, it's an M-rated game, or in David's case, it's an M-rated game. They shouldn't be playing the game anyway. So, I mean, this is just stuff that they're easy explaining to other people. Let me see. Okay. All right, so Mickey Burns on Thursday. Okay. Either way, the game sounds like it should be rated X.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Joe says FF7 story changes. RE was quality of life improvements and some mechs. Okay, so let me read this last one. I watch and make sure it's just killing no sex stuff. RDR2 in God of War he's played with no problem. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm done with this topic. I mean, if you have anything else to say, you can say it.
No, yeah. I think we pretty much said everything that we needed to say. Clearly, you're for all the profanity that you had used. Yeah, I think this was a very good topic. I didn't expect it for it to go this long, but at the end of the day, it was good. But I'm gonna just say this one last thing. I told you so, and Jabanis, I told you so, sir. Eventually, people are going to get upset, and they're going to start boycotting your stuff. And when people boycott your stuff, you start losing money. Let's go to the next topic.
and
Uh,
I will finish what I said
no,
earlier.
let's go to the
No,
next
I
topic.
will finish what I said earlier.
I thought you said I had the last word.
If you boycott the game, then you clearly didn't care about the game. And if you're going to boycott the game, that's fine. Fuck off. Do something else.
That's not
Go
true.
ahead.
That's not true because I proved you wrong with that already. You mean so you
Steve,
so you
Steve,
so
Steve,
so you mean to
Steve,
tell me
Steve,
no 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 no
you,
no no
if
so
you
you
can,
mean to
Steve, I don't care.
no you mean to tell me that the people who boycotted Bud Light suddenly never liked the Bud Light in the first place? Is that what you're saying based on
Not
your logic?
yes, it is true. Yeah.
So then so then so,
Can
so
you hear the thing? Hear the thing. Here's the thing.
then to like it.
I'm not going to let a decision that a beer company make decide whether or not I'm going to drink that beer. Like I'm not doing that. I'm gaining morality from a fucking beer company. Like fuck out of here. So yeah, talk about this is your topic too. This is about Spectrum. Go talk about it.
All right. Okay. So we officially read the last comment. Read the last comment.
All right, you can't lose money if they're never gonna spend money on the game. And he said that even Kid Rock was caught with Bud Light after all that. After he shot a whole bunch of cans, which I guarantee you he paid for, mind you. He shot a bunch of cans and then later on in the year he gets caught with a Bud Light in his hand. Like you see why I don't take these fucking morons seriously? Joe, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Joe. You see why I don't take these fucking morons seriously? You see why I don't pay attention to these fucking morons? Why I don't wait? I don't want to waste my breath on these fucking morons because at the end of the day, all they do, they're clout chasers. That's it. They're sad, pathetic, loser clout chasers. That's all they are. All right, go ahead. Talk about Spectrum.
I mean, you say you don't want to take these people seriously and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I want to respond to Jabanis. If people are boycotting the game, Jabanis, you are losing money. How else are you supposed to gain money if people are not going to buy it? So I don't really understand that statement by saying, well, if they don't buy the game, they're not losing money. If I was going to buy a game and then I decided to change my mind because they had certain elements that I didn't like, yes, you just lost the customer, which means that you lost money. So I'm not really understanding what you're trying to say there. Maybe if you could clarify. Um, Malta said, I only drink 4 Lucos anyway. And Ruben says, I'm hi, Whitney. People saying hi to each other. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good stuff. Glad to see you guys communicating with each other. But now moving on to the next topic. We are going to switch gears and we are now going to sports. And when it comes to sports, well, it's sports and I guess you could say Disney. ESPN is sports related. But what happened is that ESPN and Disney channels go dark on Spectrum, YouTube, TV trends as alternate. Let me share the article. Let's do this real quick because man, it's getting late already. So let's share right here. Do you see it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's just read it, and I'm going to share my thoughts. It's not going to be quick because I have to get some sleep soon. So traditional TV has undergone a series of increases in costs, which has often led to streaming platforms either raising prices or removing channels. This evening, Spectrum has opted to black out all. This is the keyword here. All and Disney channels for subscribers amid a dispute with the House of Mouse, which has led to YouTube TV getting a moment of in the spotlight. This evening, Spectrum, owned by Charter, started blacking out all Disney-owned channels such as ESPN, ABC, FX, National Geographic, Disney Channel, Freeform, my goodness, and more. Customers are customers are when trying to tune in these channels seeing a banner that doesn't say channels are inaccessible but rather inform customers that Disney is demanding an excessive increase in programming costs. Yeah. Okay. Um, all right, let me. Yeah, okay. I might. Should I read this? Let me see. Oh yeah, I might as well read it. So, the Walt Disney Company has removed their programming and spectrum, which creates hardship for our customers. We offer Disney a fair deal, yet they are demanding an excessive increase. They also want to limit our ability to provide greater customer choice and programming packages, forcing you to take and pay for channels you may not want. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. What I have always said about control, but let's continue. Spectrum is on your side and fighting to keep costs down while protecting and maximizing customer choice. The rising cost of programming is the single greatest factor in higher cable TV prices, and we are fighting hard to hold the line on programming rates imposed on us by companies like Disney. We apologize for the inconvenience. Let me see here. As a result of the sudden and mostly unexpected blackout, it's Google YouTube TV that has started trending across Twitter and other platforms as an alternative to Spectrum. As it stands today, YouTube TV still has full access to Disney channels, including and affected ESPN channels. Though notably, YouTube TV also had a brief dispute with Disney, which saw ESPN and other Disney owned channels go dark for a couple of days before returning. The blackout of ESPN especially led to quite a bit of rage as the blackout occurred right as week one of the college football season began, with ESPN having tonight been broadcasting the Florida versus Utah game, which started right as the blackout took effect. See that's crazy. That's crazy because everybody, whether it's professional or college, people get so hyped in the beginning of the football season, and while everyone is trying to tune in, one of the biggest games that they were showing that day, they couldn't watch it because of this. It was, oh my gosh. I could understand people getting so irate because we have so many football fans in this country. And I'm telling you, I bet you people were pissed. Let me see if there's anything else important. The full list impacted Disney owned channel on Spectrum includes ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, ESPNU, ESPN News, SEC Network, ACC Network. My goodness, this is a lot. FS, FXS, Freeform, Geographic, Disney Channel, Disney Junior, Disney XD. Like this is a lot of channels. And there's someone on Twitter. Oh hell no! What the f, Spectrum? You are about to f around and find out real quick what it's like to lose customers. You simply don't mess with college football. Opening damn night, YouTube TV. Here we go. Yeah, you definitely have a potential to lose customers if you're telling people they can't watch their football games. Like that, that's crazy. Um, all right. Do you have anything to say about this?
Hold on a second. Let me look at how many homes is Spectrum? I want. Did they say how many people, how many users does Spectrum have?
I know one of the states is New York.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think Philadelphia might be one of them.
Uh, was it? Is it Philadelphia? I know for sure New York. I can't remember if it's Philadelphia or not.
Okay. 32 million customers in 41 states.
41. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 32
Um.
million. So
Whatever you're reading, can we see it real quick?
yeah, I'll highlight it because I'm reading it right. I'm reading it from Google.
Okay.
Charter Communications is their official name. There you go. 32 million customers in 41 states.
Yeah.
So yeah. So here's the thing. This stuff is not new. I remember there were several times that I can remember when growing up where a channel threat, like there was a threat that a network would leave this provider. Like, I remember there was a time when I was growing up, when I had DirecTV,
Yeah.
that I think Channel 7, Fox, threatened to leave DirecTV. It was over a dispute, and frankly, it happened to me couple years ago with the ACC network. When the ACC networks first started, it wasn't on Xfinity,
Hmm.
which is what I had, and there was no way that I could watch Hurricane games. There was no way I could watch Hurricane games.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, I was screwed. I was screwed. This type of stuff does happen. Now, obviously, this is a huge deal because having a even with all the stuff that going on at ESPN and Disney and in general, those are some huge fucking channels that you're missing out
Yes.
on. Can I click the link? Joe, do me a favor. Put the link in the. Send it to me on Discord, and then I'll click on it on my phone. Cause it won't let me click on. It won't let me click. Hold on. Let me check on YouTube. But while I do that, yeah, this is a big deal because this is not something that you want going on. Okay, you're losing a shit ton of channels, and a lot of relevant channels also.
Exactly.
Because the one thing that will always be relevant is live sports. Okay, okay. So Joe, okay, yeah, thank you, Joe. I got it right here. So here what I'm gonna do.
Are you able to share it?
Um, I what I'll do, I'll go on Twitter because I know who I because I have the guy's Twitter account. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Twitter, click the name, and then get to it, and then I'll share it with everybody. All right, so just give me one moment.
All
But
right.
yeah, in the meantime, but let me finish by pretty much saying that live sports is still the most relevant entity out there.
Yeah.
And when you lose the leader in that's not good. That's not good. So if you're using Spectrum, I would look, if you had an opportunity to switch, I would switch. Because part of the problem that I'm having right now is that I can't switch to another provider right now because I can't get DirecTV because of the direction that my apartment is in doesn't get a signal. So I'm screwed there. AT&T, I could get AT&T, but they don't have the fiber internet. They don't have it in my area. So it's essentially it's a waste of time to get it.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck with Xfinity. I'm stuck with Xfinity.
So
Now
it's
and
not. Oh, my bad.
mm,
Go ahead. Go
no
ahead. Go
no
ahead.
no 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 go go ahead.
So it's not. It's the direction where you're facing. If you was in the opposite direction, you would be fine. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You're facing. If I remember correctly, I think you are facing the east side. I think.
I I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. But I'm facing the side where I can't get internet reception. I'll get
Yeah.
this reception.
Yeah, like in my opinion, like obviously at the end of the day, this is really just about money, and that's all it is. It's really
Yes.
just all it is just about money. Now the thing is, you, I mean, for goodness sake, you could have, can't you at the very least the biggest one, which is football. I mean, for you to get rid of that, oh my gosh, bro, like that was a huge mistake. I guarantee you people, not only did people get pissed off, but I guarantee you people probably had, because people really take stuff like that personally. Like, do not mess with people in their football games. I mean, you and I have seen over the years where people care about their teams. They get into these fights. They bet tons and tons of money. This stuff is like serious business. So when you want to mess with people's football games, like yeah, you're going to regret it real quick. Because I have no doubt in my mind that people had left and went to another provider because of that 1 week.
If they,
Okay,
yeah, if they had the opportunity to, yeah, hopefully they do it. If they have the opportunity, if they're stuck, oh man, that sucks. And then the thing is, before I read this, the thing that people need to know, oh well, they can just get the ESPN app and that'll be okay. You need an internet provider to do that. So for me, let's say if I wanted to watch ESPN on my phone, I need to be linked to a service provider, and that service provider is for me is Xfinity.
yeah,
So yeah, so even with that, I think there's still workarounds around it for these people, but if not, it's a bad situation for them. All right, so this is the article that Joe shared with me. This is from Scott Gustin, and pretty much Disney shared a what you need to know about the current dispute between Disney and Charter/Spectrum. Disney claimed, okay, now okay, okay, I'll read it. Okay. Disney claims Charter declined an offer to extend negotiations, which would have kept Disney-owned networks on the service. So what Disney pretty much is doing, they're putting all the blame on Spectrum.
yeah. They're pretty much blaming each other now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
As you may have already be aware, we are regularly in negotiations with distribution partners that offer our networks to their customers. If we are unable to reach a fair agreement, you could lose some of those networks. It is in our sincere goal to avoid this outcome. Here's what you need to know about the dispute between Charter, Spectrum, and Disney Entertainment. Labor Day weekend is traditionally one of the biggest sports weekends of the year. Viewers sit down to watch the anticipated return of college football and enjoy the tennis battles at the US Open. Unfortunately for millions of Spectrum cable viewers, this has not been the case this holiday weekend since ESPN and other Disney-owned channels like ABC are blacked out due to the dispute between Spectrum's parent company, Charter Communication, and Disney Entertainment. Disputes between cable companies and content providers aren't new. However, millions of customers may find themselves perplexed and frustrated by what's going on. To cut through the noise, here are some important points to consider as a dispute disrupts one of the biggest TV weekends of the year. Losing ESPN is a major issue for customers since it's one of the most popular channels. In fact, ESPN aired more than half, 53, of the top 100 telecasts in Charter homes during the past year, per Nielsen, the leading audience measurements data in an analytics company that includes all five of the top five.
yeah.
And
Leave.
yeah, you have anything to say?
No. I'm just like it's just my reaction. Like
Oh,
my
okay. And the average month, 71% of Charter subscribers tune in to Disney networks or stations. In fact, Charter subscribers watch more than 3.3 billion hours of content on Disney networks and stations over the past year, according to Nielsen. Although Charter claims that they valued their customers, they declined Disney offer to extend negotiations, which would have kept Disney owned networks up for consumers in the middle of perennial programming events like the US Open and college football. So they're saying that even though they didn't have a deal, they at least wanted to offer an extension so that while they work on the deal with Spectrum, the customers can still have Disney and ESPN and all that stuff. And
yeah.
Charter declined. So they're clearly making Charter out to be the bad guy. Okay. Okay, and I think that the same thing as before. So
Okay.
yeah, it's the same thing as before. So yeah, so pretty much this is this is pretty much what's going on with them currently. Now, like I said, to me, this stuff isn't necessarily new. This stuff does happen, but to lose a big channel and network like the Disney family, that's not good. That's not good. And this, yeah, it's not good.
No, it's terrible. No, it's terrible. Like when I saw that list of all the channels of that's pretty much been blacked out. When you look at everything, you barely had anything to watch at the end of the day. Like you still have to pay, and then at the end of the day, now with football season starting, you had pretty much nothing to watch. For the those 2 or 3 days. I don't know how long it had stayed blacked out, but to pretty much not watch anything, whatever it's ESPN, ESPN2, ABC, and and remember what I always had appreciate about college football was that even you have the capability to watch your favorite team somewhere, whether if it's on ESPN or ABC or Fox or whatever it is. There's always some type of football game showing somewhere. But with all the channels that's been blacked out, you barely could watch, pretty much anything. You pretty much what was left with a blank TV. And look, at the end of the day, bro, you may be right that something like this probably had happened in the past. That's that's no excuse anyway. It's still no excuse. Like for you to do that to your customers, to your paying customers, that's just flat out wrong. It's anti-consumer, and you should be held accountable, for that. Obviously, nothing's going to happen, but you should be held accountable, for that. Because at the end of the day, they're still paying customers at the end of the day. Now, I
Um,
don't now you mentioned that this happened to you. Do you remember how long ago this was? Because I don't
this
remember
happened
this
a couple
happening
years
to me.
ago.
This happened.
Um, I mean, yeah, because I mean, yeah, with the ACC network, because we didn't get access to it. And when they're in, yeah, there were Hurricane games on ESPN, and that now if they were on proper ESPN, then that was good. But if it
Yeah,
was only on the ACC network, I would not have been able to watch it.
correct. Yes, yes.
And I'm gonna be real here. If they were any good, then yeah, that would piss me off immensely. That would piss me off immensely.
So
So
before we move on, which side are you on? I mean, we read both articles that obviously blaming one another.
mhm. Honestly, like the customers are the one that lose. Like I think I'm not on Disney side. I'm not on Spectrum side. I'm on the customer side.
Okay, that's fair,
So,
and I
yeah.
agree with you too. I fully agree with that. I'm on the customer side because regardless of whose fault it is, it's the customer that end up losing at the end of the day, and that's very unfortunate too. It's very unfortunate. Hopefully, this stuff like this never happens again. But yeah, I blame both. I blame both companies. You guys should have tried to figure something out sooner, especially before um the NFL season or the college football season had started. Like so shame on both of you guys. So
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. So no one said I came in late. Did you guys discuss Punk getting fired? Oh no, 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 no. I will do that on my channel tomorrow. Likely tomorrow. I'll try to do it tomorrow.
Well, now that you mentioned it, well, what do you mind giving like a summary?
Yeah. CM Punk got fired because really it's because he okay. No, I can't give you a summary because it's gonna take too long.
Okay,
This is long. But what happened was he got into a fight with a fellow wrestler in the back. It wasn't his first incident, and it was bad enough to where they kind of had to fire him.
they had to.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I will go through all. I'll go through all that, including my thoughts tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Do you
Yeah.
know what time you're gonna be doing it? Because I want. Are you gonna do it live or it's just gonna be a video?
I don't know yet. I feel like I should do it live. I feel like I should do it live, but
Okay.
I think what I'll do is I'll do it in a video. I'll do it in a video form, and then I'll upload it, and then you guys can critique me on my video skills like you did this week. Oh,
Okay. But to be fair, Hoovy, your video was sideways. If you're going to have us, watch, you know, scenery or whatnot, you could at the very least
will
make
be
it straight.
told I didn't care. I didn't care about the scenery. That's the thing that you guys keep forgetting. Like I'm supposed to have you guys. I'm doing this so that you guys can have a good look, of Commercial Boulevard. Like that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video was what I was talking about. That's the only thing that really mattered. Like you
But
guys are worried about what side how the camera was shaped and all the other crap. Like I didn't care about that. Like I'm trying to drive and do a video. Like Jesus. Like that's the only thing that mattered was just getting the video out.
come on, Hoovy, man. Like, come on, bro. Like that is not an excuse. That is not an excuse. If you were going to do that, at the very least, let us see straight.
You guys,
That's the least. That's the least you could have done. Yeah, at least let us see straight because over the years, because I remember, Seafring does the same thing. And big shout out to you, Seafring, if you're watching. But he does that a lot too when he's doing his driving. He keeps his camera straight. You could have done the exact same thing.
well, I think he has a phone mount or something that he uses. At least I think he does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So next
regardless.
so next time when you do that, just make sure the camera is straight, man.
Anyways, not too hard to make a bad guy look like a bad guy. That's true. He said that all Critical Drop said All Out was better than I thought. Yeah, that's what I heard. But I was at work, so I couldn't watch it. So Steve, whose side are you on, the burdener or the rapist? Oh, I think
What
I
what you
think I think I
what
think
you
he
talking?
messed up.
What
Hmm?
what 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 is that? Rapist? Like,
I think he meant the. I think if you remove the G, I think that's what he means.
I don't I don't know. Maybe you should clarify. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, FYI, I do want to mention this. Clemson is losing right now.
Clemson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh snap! They're losing.
Yeah, to Duke,
Wow. Okay.
21-7.
What quarter?
Oh, fourth quarter, 5 minutes left, and they just
Oh.
and they just do a pick.
Oh. Okay. It's over. Yeah, it's over. Wow, that's a shocker. Refreshing, but shocker. That's a shocker.
Yeah, I don't like Clemson. I don't like their coach either.
I don't.
CM Punk,
Alabama is who I hate.
yeah, CM Punk got a history of being a dick. That's the summary. He's not wrong. He's not wrong, but I'll discuss that a little bit later. If that wasn't point, you should have recorded the audio and posted it with a blank background. Here's the thing, Jabonis, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do a video that I can upload quickly without doing the extra shit. So yeah, it was tight up, but then they got a touchdown in the third quarter, and then you got a pick just now. So yeah, so here what we're gonna do, since it's getting late. We're gonna do the Steph versus Magic topic. Is gonna be the last topic. We'll hold off on the Michael Orr thing till next week or whatever.
That's. I think that would be the second time you're pushing it back.
Yeah, I know, but it's late. I know you gotta go to work, and I gotta take my mom to work tomorrow.
Okay. All right, so I guess the Steph Curry will be the final topic for tonight. Frankly, I think this has been a very good show. But let's go. I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time. This is pretty much about Steph Curry, and the reason why I appreciate stuff like this is because it gives people reason to talk about Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, because frankly, the only thing that we've been hearing when it comes to debates is pretty much LeBron James and Michael Jordan. We don't really listen. We don't really hear much debate about anybody else. Like we do hear snippets about Kobe Bryant a bit. We do hear a little bit about of Kareem, but very little, like very very little. But pretty much we don't hear anything about anybody else.
Well, we don't talk about the greatest point guard of all time. We don't really have that discussion, even though I think like we'll go to that later, but we don't really talk about point guard of all time. And that
That's
and that and that goes a long that it's a lot more extensive than people think. You know what I mean? Because obviously we're gonna talk about Magic and Steph Curry. And in my opinion, they're the two best of all time.
okay.
They're one and number two. Whichever side you want to go on, they're number one and number two. But
Mhm.
then you think about guys of the past like Oscar Robinson, right?
Yeah,
Robertson, right? And then you think about, but then you think about Isaiah Thomas. Then
absolutely.
you have to take into consideration Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Chris Paul is in that list. Regardless of how you feel about his playoff performance, he's 100% on that list.
Yeah, Peyton also.
Gary Payton, yeah, like there's a lot of John Stockton. John Stockton should absolutely be on that list. Like there's lots of guys who you would think should be on that list, and making a top 10 of point guards of all time would be very very difficult. I will argue that's the most difficult position to grade.
Point guard.
Top 10.
Okay.
I guarantee you, everyone's top 10 will be different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
All right. Let's go to Steph Curry. Warrior Steph Curry says he's the best point guard in NBA history. But yeah, he praises Magic Johnson. Now, this is going to be very interesting right here. Very interesting. So the Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry believes he stands at the top of the mountain when it comes to the greatest point guards in NBA history. Speaking with retired star Gilbert Arenas, Curry said Magic Johnson has a ridiculous resume, but that he put himself above the Los Angeles Lakers legend. So let's see. It's only 1 minute and 32 seconds. So let's hear what he had to say.
Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes.
Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes. I have to, yes. It's me and Magic. That's the conversation.
Like it just, because as we can look at stats all day, right? We can look at stats and try to judge. I wasn't around with Magic. I know, right? So
I have so much respect.
I know there's not a lot of 6'9" point guard. No one's trying. I'm thinking about the '90s growing up. There was nobody trying to be a 6'9" point guard, right? I mean, it just. But I can witness and watch every kid trying to be Curry. You know what I mean? So it's like the influence that you really have on the game from the position as a player. I look at the stats and say, okay, Magic then Curry. When I look at the kids and I watch AAU, it's like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously I have to answer it that way, but I really feel like, to your point, like Magic's resume is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so the fact that we're even having that conversation it's a place I never thought I'd be in. But the fact that, to your point of like how you grade it and the whole conversation, that's why we have the conversations, because it's fun and it's measuring errors against each other. And I love that's what basketball, that's what sports is all about. That's why people watch. That's why people get in heated debates about it. I love it. So you put me on my own team, I'm gonna rep myself for sure.
Oh, as soon as he asked him that question, He said yes, paused, then he mentioned Magic Johnson. But he wanted to be clear that he believed that he is the best point guard ahead of Magic Johnson. Do you have a problem with this? Now I'm gonna read the rest of this. What are your thoughts for him saying that he's the top?
No, I don't. I don't have a problem with him saying that.
You don't
I
have a
have no
problem with it.
problem. No, I have no problem with him saying that.
Okay, no problem with it. Now I'll show you what my thoughts are, but let me read this real quick. So Curry's opinion probably doesn't represent the consensus. Johnson retired at a 12-time All-Star, 5-time NBA champion, and 3-time MVP. Thanks to his 6'9" frame, he has also a point guard unlike anybody had ever seen. In addition to averaging 19.5 points and 11.2 rebounds, he hauled in 7.2 rebounds per game. Johnson famously occupied the center position when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was out injured for the Lakers series, clinching victory over the Philadelphia Sixers in the 1980 NBA Finals. Clearly, he wasn't alive back then, and dude, I really wish I had opportunities to watch this dude play because over the years, when people were talking about Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird, I heard arguments of people saying that they saved the NBA, that they revolutionized the game,
Yeah,
how it
they
was
they absolutely saved the NBA. That is
oh
100% true.
okay. You believe that also. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. In it, saying that it was the black versus white. All the crazy type of narratives that had happened because of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And I wish I could have seen it, but obviously that means I would have been a whole lot older. But man, how terrific it would have been to witness the competition, with those two guys back then. I know without of a doubt it would have been phenomenal. But here's the thing. Magic Johnson, in my opinion, do I think he's the number one guy? Here's the thing. If I'm going to say that Steph Curry, because I don't know if you remember, but in my top five, Magic Johnson has always been in my top five.
Hmm.
He has always been. The thing is with Steph Curry, and this is what all these whether if they are a basketball fan or even if there are guys who played in the NBA, I'm gonna have to tell them this: you guys better be consistent. If you are going to say that Steph Curry is the best point guard in the league, you automatically have to put him in the top five. Now you could say that, well, people's opinion is their opinion, it's their top five, they could do whatever they want, and that's true. But if your opinion doesn't make any sense, then I have no respect for your opinion because you can't sit here in one notion and say Magic Johnson, no, Steph Curry is the best point guard in the whole NBA history, but yet you still have Magic Johnson ahead of Steph Curry in top five or in top 10 of all time. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like if Steph Curry is the number one, then he should be in your top five or your top three, and not Magic Johnson. You can't have it. You cannot have it both ways. So, with all that being said, this is what I have to say. Do I think he's the best guy? I think in order for him to be better than Magic Johnson, I think he needs to win one more ring first and tie with Magic Johnson in order for him to be considered the best point guard. At least for me, in my personal list, if he could win just one more championship ring and be tied with Magic Johnson, I think yes, that would solidify that he is the best point guard in NBA history. Now let me read this real quick. So ESPN ranked Magic fourth overall in the list of NBA greatest players to coincide with the league's 75 anniversary. The Athletic had him one spot lower at number five.
Curry's in the top. Is in the all time 75, right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, Curry has done enough to at least make this a conversation. 35-year-old is unrivaled as a shooter, along with hitting the traditional benchmark requirements from a legacy perspective. The Warriors' 2022 champion will likely be considered his crowning achievement, one that affirmed his all-time status. Curry influence will carry on long after his retirement, too, with players at level looking to emulate his on-court approach. The increased emphasis on three-point shooting almost certainly would have happened without him, but he undoubtedly accelerated the trend and changed the general perception that that high-value three-point shooting wasn't a winning formula. This right here, I completely disagree with. Without Steph Curry, we would never have seen this huge trend of three-point shooting. We would have never ever have seen this kind of a revolution of three-point shooting without Steph Curry. Because mind you, this was it was mainly Steph Curry, but this was a Steph Curry slash Clay Thompson problem. That's what it was. This was a Steph Curry Clay Thompson problem because these guys could not be stopped. They were the best three-point shooters in the whole entire league, and they were dominating everybody. And I agreed when they were saying that they were light years away of everyone because they were not able to compete with their three-point shooting. It's because of them that why three-point shooting is prevalent now, and it's pretty much the primary of the NBA when it comes to games and things like that. To see the actual game, it's because of him why we seeing this now. If it wasn't for Steph Curry, this would have never have happened. It seems like you disagree with me.
No, I don't agree. I do think that the way that he played and the way that team played revolutionized the sport. Absolutely it did. But I feel like we would have gotten to that point anyway. It is the way that Curry did it was so efficient and so so insane that it just it revolutionized the game. It revolutionized the game. Definitely did.
The reason
But
why
I think the game would have gotten to that point regardless. But it definitely was elevated because of Curry and Thompson.
the reason why I disagree is because we Steph Curry had revolutionized the game so much that the rest of the league just didn't have a choice but to adapt to that new type of play style.
Yeah.
To the point where you had the centers also had to shoot threes. Power forwards also needed to learn how to shoot threes. All of that is really because of Steph. Because when you have a guy who could now shoot from half court at will, where you had the defense double teaming him beyond the 3-point line, and then it had opened the floor, spread the floor, and having everybody else involved, get everybody else is able to contribute because he's being double teamed. It was like pick your poison at that point. The only way for you to compete is as if everyone else was able to shoot threes. That was the only way you can compete with this guy. And once again, the same way how Shaquille O'Neal had revolutionized the game and everybody had to adjust to him. Everybody had to adjust to Steph Curry. Everybody had to adjust to Steph Curry.
You think Shaq revolutionized the center position? I don't think so.
You don't think he did?
No.
You honestly didn't think that you honestly didn't think that with the whole hacker shot thing and then centers had to be better to compete against Shaq. You don't think none of that had to happen?
No, because like Shaq was getting dominated by Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well,
But I don't look at his play and be like, oh well, we've never seen this before. No, we've seen centers dominate before. The way that he did. No, I'm not trying to say that he sucked or anything like that, but I don't think his game was like revolutionary. When he was younger, when he was Orlando Shaq and he was running up and down the floor, his size running up and down the floor, that was revolutionary. Cause I ain't never seen a dude that big run like that.
Okay.
I ain't never seen that, but like,
but my overall point was there's absolutely no way we would be where we are because once again we didn't have a choice but to compete with Steph Curry. He was the reason why everybody's shooting threes now. And if the whole league didn't have to adjust to him, if he wasn't shooting threes like that, I think the NBA would have been the way how it originally was prior to everybody just shooting threes after threes after threes all day. Because then there was no adjustment needed to be made if Steph Curry wasn't doing that. So you still disagree?
No. I agree, but I'm just trying to figure out who I would pick as the number one point guard of all time, because I lean towards Magic, but here's the thing that Gilbert Arenas said that I actually do agree with. When you look at how the game is played, right? Like very few athletes can say that they changed the way the game was played.
Yeah.
Very few athletes can say that. I look at, for example, Walt Chamberlain, and I would put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that category also, right? Like they made rules to minimize their greatness when they said that they couldn't dunk, when they weren't allowed to dunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at someone like Jim Brown, right? The running back for the Cleveland Browns, right? The way he revolutionized that position, and the way and how he was so dominant during that time, right? And then the thing is that yeah, and look, Magic, obviously he did, so many great things, and I do think that a lot of point guards in the '90s emulated his style of flair and flash and pizzazz and stuff like that. Like Magic, like both men are showmen. Make no mistake about it, both men are showmen. Right? Like Magic with the flashy passes and Steph Curry with the 3-point shots. The way he would prance and preen around every time he made a shot. But when it comes to Steph Curry, he changed the game.
Exactly.
He changed the game, and that's something. As great as Magic was, he didn't do that. At least not to that level. Not to that level, because as great as he was, like when you look at guys like I would say Michael Jordan changed the game. He changed the game because guys who was his size playing that position didn't dominate the NBA until he got there. He showed a level of athleticism that you rarely saw in the NBA. It was a different level of athleticism that he showcased.
Yeah.
And when it comes to what the way that Steph Curry played the game, he changed the game, and very few athletes can say that. You can be an all-time great and not change anything. Like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant didn't change the game. He just mimicked Michael Jordan basically.
Yeah.
And you look at guys like LeBron James is interesting because I feel like he's a mixture of several players. Right? But he didn't revolutionize the game because you can't play like LeBron James. You're not 6'8", you're not 250, you're not running up and down the court in like 2 or 3 seconds doing a windmill dunk while you're still rising in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And as great as Magic was, like not a lot of dudes were 6'9" dribbling up and down the court like that.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? Like everybody to a T is trying to mimic what Steph Curry is doing.
Exactly.
Everybody. And very few athletes can say that. Now, with that said, oh man, I feel like when it comes to greatest of all time, I have to go. I feel like I have to go with Magic. I think I have to go with Magic.
Okay, so you're going with Magic despite of Steph Curry revolutionizing and how he was just so dominant in the NBA. Like you still stick with it.
Yeah, I think I have to because I look at the resume, right? 5-time NBA champion. I think does he how many NBA Finals MVP does he have? I think he has 4. I know Multa said it in the chat somewhere. He might have 4.
Thought it was 3. Maybe
It could be three. It could be three. But he had the 5 rings. He had the multiple finals MVPs. He had multiple regular season MVPs.
Mhm.
And I don't think it can be understated how important he was to the league at the time. I don't think it can be understated how important he was to that league. And as great as Steph Curry is, and he's number 2. Like if I have Magic number 1, Curry's number 2, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. You know what I mean? 'Cause I see some comments that I need to address. Like if Magic's number 1, Curry's number 2. But I just feel like the accomplishments are just way too much to kind of like minimize. I feel the same way about Jordan and LeBron. Like you heard me say, I think LeBron James is a better overall player than Michael Jordan. But
yeah,
Jordan has the accomplishments. He has the accomplishments, and he has more impressive accomplishments than LeBron does. Absolutely. And like I said, it's not all LeBron James' fault. Like a lot of it is just just voting and shit like that. But the facts are those are the facts. So to me, I like they are 1 and 2. There is no. If you're gonna pick Magic, fine. If you're gonna pick Curry, fine. But if you have one, the other one needs to be number 2.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with everything you said. Concur fully. The only thing that I have is that I believe that if Steph Curry could just win one more championship, which I personally believe he still has a chance to do that. Mm-hmm. I think now the league is still wide open to pretty much everybody. As great as Joker is, I don't think that team has a huge gap over everyone else, and not even close to how it used to be with the Golden State Warriors. How you could tell even prior to Kevin Durant, and including with Kevin Durant, like there was just a huge gap, a huge chasm between the Golden State Warriors and the rest of the league. It was just they were just so dominant with their 3-point shooting and how they played so well together, and their defense was good too. Their defense was good. Now the only reason why this has been such a struggle for me, like I've been trying to go back and forth, which who should be the number 1 guy. Would you agree that well actually all right, yeah. Would you agree that okay, how many do you remember how many championships Magic Johnson won with Kareem?
All 5.
All 5, right? Now
he got one. He got 2 without him.
That's why. Yeah, because one Kareem didn't play, right?
Yeah, game. The first championship that Magic won with the Lakers, Kareem, I think he was out for Game 7. Oh, he was out for Game 7, but also it was
a 6 and 7?
No, it was 7. I don't know if it was 6 and 7, but definitely Game 7.
Yeah, okay.
The one that he didn't play, and also they got to the finals in 91, and Kareem had retired by that point.
Yeah,
that was Jordan's first championship.
Yeah, Magic Johnson lost. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but the question I wanted to ask you was, do you believe that Magic Johnson would have won the championship without Kareem? Any championship at least one or two?
No.
Mm-mm. Okay, let me tell you what the reason. The reason why I had asked you that is people had used that as a tiebreaker of why they believe that Steph Curry is the best point guard in the league. I forgot who the person was. Was it Chris Broussard?
No,
I forgot.
that's stupid. That's
Hold on,
stupid.
hold on. What they were saying. No, it wasn't Chris Broussard. I forgot who the person was. Was that Steph Curry had proven more than one occasion that by him being the best player on that team, it's because of him why the championship has won. They say that you can't really say the same thing with Magic Johnson because he had Kareem on his side, similar to how with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was really the main guy. Kareem was really the main guy. Steph Curry was the main guy. Michael Jordan was the main guy. LeBron James was the main guy. They're saying Tim Duncan was the main guy. So they were saying how you can't really say that with Magic Johnson, and so that's the reason they will put Steph.
I don't know. I don't want to hear that.
Okay, you think that's nonsense? You think that's nonsense?
No, it's fucking bro. Like you're not gonna win a championship without good players, without great players. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. It's silly.
All right.
Look, and look in the finals and the one where they beat Boston. Yeah, Curry was easily the best player on that team. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was, like I said, but that was his first finals MVP. And Magic has several.
Yeah, I think he has 3.
Yeah, several. And okay. Yeah, the team were loaded during that time. Like they went to 9 NBA finals in 11 years. You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy, man.
It doesn't take away from his greatness. It doesn't. But this idea, he like it was between him and Kareem. Yeah, but as Kareem got older, like Magic Johnson had to pretty much become the top player on the team, which he was. Because I mean, because he won MVPs when he was on the team with Kareem.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, oh, come on now.
Okay. Okay. But but for me, my last point is this is the question I wanted to ask you. If you had to start a team, that also means you would pick Magic Johnson over Steph Curry, correct? Because I know you would want whoever the guy is. I'm sure you're picking Dwayne Wade, and I don't know who else you're picking. Would you pick Magic over Steph Curry and your starting 5?
Yeah. I think I would.
Oh, you would.
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay.
I did. When I watch highlights, I just love the way that he played.
Do you mind sharing your top 5? Your starting 5?
My starting 5?
Yes.
Okay. It was just for me, my starting 5.
Yes.
Okay. Now, point guard, Magic, shooting guard, Dwayne, center, Hakeem Olajuwon. Small forward, I would pick LeBron. Power forward, I would pick. Who would I pick? I need someone who, who would I pick for power forward? Because I need someone who's I need someone who can rebound, obviously, but I need someone who can stretch the floor. So, fuck, who would I pick for power forward? Like, I'm not picking Karl Malone. I don't want to pick him.
That should be easy. The power forward should be easy for you.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no. Do I? Should I pick Tim Duncan or
Yes.
No. Man. Yeah,
Who are you stuck with?
I don't know because I don't know who I would pick.
Between who?
No, I'm just trying to figure out who was my favorite point guard. I mean, power forward. And honestly, I think I think I probably would have picked Damn, I think I would have picked Charles Barkley.
Wow.
as my power forward. Yeah, I think I would pick Charles Barkley as my power forward.
Wow. All right. Let me do mine. Obviously, the number one guy is Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
The power forward, I'm picking Tim Duncan. Center, I'm actually gonna have to pick Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
That's small forward. Small forward is LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And my point guard, this is gonna be crazy, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pick Steph Curry. And the
Okay.
reason why I'm picking Steph Curry is I have LeBron James that could be my point guard. So
Okay. Okay. So I'll put you like this: if we're just picking guys of any position, no matter what, right?
oh
Then
okay,
mine will be different. Mine will be different. Now, obviously, I'm still picking Dwayne Wade. I'm still picking
of
Dwayne Wade.
course.
But then I'm gonna pick. I'm still gonna pick Magic Johnson. Then what I would do is my small forward would actually be Jordan. Jordan
Wow.
would be my small forward, and then I would have LeBron as my power forward, and then I'll have Akeem as my center.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's how I would do it. But I wanted to stick to position that they played.
Okay, now one final question. Then let's go to the comments and then we can finish. The last final question: are you in the same position as me that if Curry does win one more, then he surpasses Magic?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay, so
I
even
would
with
say
the same
yes.
amount of rings, he surpasses him.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Oh wow! All right.
And
Cool.
the reason why I would say yes is because I think if you can win 5 championships in an era where you are playing with LeBron James, right? And you also have to take into account the era of point guards that is in the league now.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been as many good point guards in this league as we have now. Right?
Okay,
When you really think about it,
that's fair. That's fair.
right? And to be the number one point guard in this era and to win 5 championships, that's impressive to me. That's
Yeah.
impressive to me.
Okay, that's good. That's a good take.
Yeah. All right, so let's read some comments because I had this one highlighted because I need to get at Malta a little bit. He says that Magic is definitely better than Curry. So was Isaiah Thomas.
Wow.
Now, if I had to put Isaiah Thomas in a group of top 10 point guards, he would be in my top 5. He would absolutely be in my top 5. But he's not higher than Curry. Curry already surpassed that dude. All right, so Magic has one more championship.
I have to
Yes.
agree. Yeah, I was gonna respond to that too. I was gonna say that. Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. I was gonna say that I think Curry has dominated the league so efficiently, like so well. Like he just dominated in a consistent basis. That yeah, he absolutely completely trounced Isaiah Thomas. So I'm sorry, Mo. So I have to agree with Hubi on this one. Curry surpassed Isaiah Thomas for sure. He dominated the league just too much, way too much. And the fact that the league had to adjust to him, and that there were talks of extending the 3 point line and not having the corner three, that's because of Steph Curry. Steph Curry revolutionized the game, bro. So yeah, he surpassed Isaiah Thomas.
All right, so Magic has one more championship. He has 2 more Finals MVPs and 2 more regular season MVPs. Yeah, the numbers don't lie, man. The numbers don't lie, man. If you look at the numbers side by side, Curry has better stats than Magic as far as like points per game and stuff like that. But when it comes to accomplishments, Magic's number one.
I think Magic only has one regular season MVP more than Curry, because I think Magic only has three, and I think Curry has what, two? Like
Yeah,
two
he has
back.
two. Yeah,
Yeah,
two.
yeah, two back to back, and he was the first one to ever get a unanimous MVP, Malta, mind you.
Yeah.
So that means something.
Yeah, but he said Magic the greatest point guard of all time. He said that Showtime Lakers would spank the Warriors today so hard. I don't know, man. Like watching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trying to defend all those guys behind the three, I don't think it would be easy.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think it would be so easy. Granted, both of KD's final MVP belong to Steph. Magic still has one more chip and one more one more regular season MVP.
Yeah, one more. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think he had two more.
No, he didn't revolutionize it. He opened people's eyes to how powerful a center or necessarily one could be, but he didn't change the game. So Joe's really talking about Shaq.
No. Let me tell you why. The reason why I say he changed the game was because the whole entire league tried to adjust to one person, which was Shaq, similar to Steph Curry. They tried everything to stop that dude with hack a Shaq, double team, triple team. Like I don't ever remember how many times this dude get. What name somebody who consistently get triple team on a daily basis. I don't. As great as Michael Jordan was, I don't really remember him getting triple teamed that much. Granted, he has, but nowhere near as Shaquille O'Neal. Not even close. Not even close. Like that dude was a huge freaking diesel. That's why they called him the Diesel. He couldn't be stopped. So what I mean by revolution, it was that the whole entire league, every single team had to find some type of way to stop that dude, to find some way to stop him, and they still couldn't find a way to stop him because he won 3 championships in a row, 3 Finals MVPs in a row, and he won a championship with Miami. So hey, the guy's crazy. But anyway, he likes Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
And Ruben said I'm on Discord as Sherlock. I'm Sherlock Ninja. Okay, cool.
Okay, so so I mean that's pretty much it. Like Swerve to Barkley. Yeah, like I was a huge fan of Charles Barkley. I was. I still am as a basketball player. So yeah, man, but that's it for the podcast. Like I said, we're it's almost midnight. And I know you got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. So yeah, so we'll be back next week, right?
Yep.
Next Monday we'll be back to do another show. Yeah, man. Let me do the roll call. Obviously, Ruben, thank you for watching. Nolan, thank you for watching. Joe, thank you for watching. Mota, thank you for watching. Scroll up. Critical Drop, thank you for watching. Like I said, we on the lookout for the CM Punk video tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna do one of those like gameplay type videos. So it won't be live. It won't be me talking about it live, unless you guys want me to do it. If you guys want me to do live, I'll do live. But he said that Shaq had a conference final with Boston and Orlando too. No, wait. Orlando, sure. He had Eastern Conference Finals with Boston and Orlando. Yeah, we can count Orlando, not Boston.
Yeah, I'm not counting Boston.
No, we're not counting Boston. That dude was old and fat by that time. He didn't do nothing to help Boston when go to that finals. No. So Ruben said I should jump on live. I'll consider it. But
yeah,
anyway,
I definitely don't mind it. But you didn't finish the roll call.
Yeah, let me do that right now. I know Critical Drop. Thank you for watching. Where am I at? David, thank you for watching. Yeah. I know Tara. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us.
It's Tyra.
Subscribe, Tyra. My bad. Tyra, subscribe if you can, and you can join the Discord too. Don't be afraid. I don't think we have any women on the Discord, so
no, we do not. Okay.
Please join. It's we welcome all genders. Rose Mike, thank you for watching.
We got some girls on here. That's awesome.
Yeah, Whitney, thank you for watching.
Yeah. She makes
F, thank you for watching. So,
hey, what about my nephew?
Oh, Joshua too. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you for watching, bro. But yeah, I think we got everybody. So
Yeah, I think you got F also. I think.
yeah, I got F. Thank you for watching.
All right. So that last thing. Yeah, Nolan. Yeah, Boston doesn't count. He was broken, and although he was technically on the team, but he was injured. He couldn't do anything. So yeah, that I'm not counting that at all. And if they had happened to win a championship, well, I'm not counting that championship either. But look, at the end of the day, for those of you who are still here, thank you so much. It's much appreciated to have an audience here, and it's great to even have some women on here. So you ladies, Tyra, Rosemai, Whitney. Oh yeah, it's good to have some females on here. Great. Shout out to the three of you, and shout out to the rest of you. If you all can you please give us a like, share to Twitter, IG, Facebook, whatever platform that you use. That'll be great, so we can continue to make more. Be on the lookout for next week, and be on the lookout for Hoovie's video tomorrow, and also be on the lookout for our Tekken tier list. So, with all that being said, this is the Traditionalist 101 signing out. Have a good one.
Right, have a good night, you guys.